Up next on Yurview, we get you set for a primetime gridiron matchup as the defending 5A state champions. The Landry Walker Charging Bucks get set to host J.T. Curtis in one of Louisiana's most decorated football programs, the John Curtis Patriots. So stay tuned. Game time on Yurview starts right now. From New Orleans, Louisiana, at historic Berman Stadium. What a way to bring in high school football for the state of Louisiana. Two of the state's best teams duking it out in this great Week 1 matchup on Game Time on Yurview. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuire, Landry Walker, the defending Class 5A champions. John Curtis has won 26 state champions. This is an outstanding matchup, Jason.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. You talk about Ollie Frazier, Florida State, Alabama this weekend. This is the top of the food chain in Louisiana. Number 1 versus number 2 matchup. Both of these teams are probably destined to get to the state finals this year.
Let's take a look at the key players. First of all, for the visiting team, the John Curtis Patriots, they have one of the best tight ends in the country in Glenn Beal.
Yeah, when you talk about Glenn Beal, the first thing that stands out is his size, 6'6", 255. Devastating blocker, but can stretch the field on offense, can get down the field and catch the ball.
And then for Jay Curtis, the grandson of J.T. Curtis.
Yeah, it's a family program here, and he is the leader on defense. He's that quarterback. He gets them lined up right. A 3-year starter. They're going to be looking for him for leadership.
And then for Landry Walker, they have two of the best recruits in all of the nation, Devontae Jason and Corian Harris.
Yeah, Devontae Jason grades out as one of the best wide receivers in the country. Committed to Kansas, who knows, that could change, but he's going to be the difference maker in this game if Landry Walker's to have a shot.
It should be a fantastic matchup. John Curtis and Landry Walker meeting for the 3rd straight year. John Curtis has won the 2 previous meetings. We'll see what happens here tonight on a great night for high school football on Game Time on Yurview.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue-collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Game Time on Yurview is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people. Peak Performance. Stronger, faster, better. Louisiana Lift and Equipment. Serving the equipment, service, and rental needs of businesses across Louisiana since 1980. Check out some of the best players in the country all fall long only on Yurview. Log on to Yurview.com for our full schedule of games.
/learn.
Moments away before this colossal matchup kicks off. John Curtis versus Landry Walker. Let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew here on Game Time, and that's Jessica Province. Jessica.
Hey, Jeff. Tonight I'm going to give you 3 numbers to focus on at the start of this game. That's 1, 2, and 3. The latest Max Prep rankings have Landry Walker coming in at number 2, but you'll see a close second is John Curtis taking that number 2 spot. Now, number 3 all has to do with John Curtis not playing in a state championship game in the last 3 years. That's the longest drought since 1974 for this team. Guys, they're coached by J.T. Curtis with 558 wins, as you may have mentioned, and they're looking to take out the defending state champions, and Landry Walker is looking to defend their legacy. Kickoff is coming up next between Landry Walker and John Curtis. You're in for a good one right here on Game Time on Yurview.
Tonight's Game Time starting lineups are brought to you by Peak Performance. Stronger, faster, better. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on Yurview.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College, and we are so excited to have been awarded Forbes magazine's top 30 two-year technical colleges in America. To achieve this award, ITI was recognized for our high scores in 1, earnings of our graduates, 2, quality of education, and 3, affordability. To learn more, we invite you to visit our campus or go online. ITI Technical College. Begin your journey to a better life.
Louisiana's best barbecue is Podna's, smoked to perfection for fall off the bone good eating. Podna's Labor Day spread features ribs, chicken, pork, and 2 sides for only $24.95. That's right, feed 3 to 5 people for only $24.85. Available now through September 5th. Podna's, fast service for dine-in or drive-through, world-famous baked beans, and party pack headquarters. Remember the brand, Podna's. 2 locations, Florida, Don Moore, and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Tonight's Game Time Keys to the Game are brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation. All fall long, only on Yurview.
What a great night to kick off the 2017 season in Louisiana. Game Time on Yurview has John Curtis Patriots against the Landry Walker Charging Bucks. Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQueer. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. First of all, for the visiting John Curtis Patriots, Jason, what do the Patriots need to do to get a win here tonight?
Well, when you're running that veer option, you have to control the line of scrimmage. And then they don't want to give up any yaks. What are yaks? Yards after the catch. Talented Landry Walker wide receivers. And then they don't want to give the charging Bucks a short field. You talk to Coach Curtis, it's all about field position.
And there's a look at J.T. Curtis in his 48th season, 71 years old. He will turn 71 in December. Now let's take a look at the Landry Walker Charging Bucks. They are your defending champs in Class 5A. And for Landry Walker, they lost this game a season ago, and then they rebounded to win the Class 5A state championship. But they want to get a win here tonight, Jason.
Well, they got to score when it counts, and that means in the red zone, they've got to come away with points. And then they can't get Curtis behind. They have to get Curtis behind in the chains in that veer option, methodical offense. They want to move them back. And then they need to be stout on special teams. And, Jeff, I think that's what this game could come down to.
Emmanuel Powell in his 6th season as the head coach of Landry Walker, former safety at the University of Utah, former defensive backs coach at Old Perry Walker, and he's been at Landry Walker here, as I mentioned, for the last 5 years. This will be year number 6, returning 16 starters from that team that won the 5A state championship. Ready to kick it away here for Landry Walker. It is Brian Henry, the senior, and we are going to be underway shortly from Berman Stadium. Fans still filing in on what is a glorious night for high school football on the final day of August. Decent kick here, and it's going to be returned from the 11-yard line and all the way up to the 32. On the return was Corey Wren for John Curtis. Let's take a look at your starters for the Patriots. They'll be starting a sophomore quarterback, Colin Guggenheim. Marquise Albert will not be playing here tonight, so you're going to see a lot of Darian Washington. Albert is out with a wrist surgery. Glenn Beal, we told you about him. Tyrone Leggett is an outstanding wide receiver. Gideon Daniels, a returning starter on that offensive line. 4 seniors on the offensive line for John Curtis. Curtis won this game 35-22 last year, but it was delayed for 2 hours because of lightning, but weather not a factor here tonight. So we'll see John Curtis, who averaged 28 points a game a season ago, looking to try to get off the 2017 season off to a good start. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line for John Curtis. And they're going to throw on the first play, and they get the ball to Glenn Beal. Beal up to the 47.
Well, we talked about him at the outset. Glenn Beal, you can see, very highly recruited tight end. They're going to try to get the ball to him, and that was a quick and a good pickup there by Mr. Beal.
Beal had 8 catches last year. Caught a touchdown pass against Landry Walker. Run up the middle, nothing happening there. But what do you think about that first play, Jason? Try to loosen up what's a very good front seven Landry Walker defense. Let's take a look at Landry Walker's starters. Brian Henry, a good defensive end. Keeman Smith, Shamon Sullivan, Josh Smith is an outstanding player as well. He's a 3-star prospect. Ernest Simon, Tyreek Baker, Michael Ray, Curry Ben, Corian Harris, Taiwan Francis. That's a kid that can really hit you. Run up the middle here. Some good contact in the middle of the field for a few yards on the carry for John Curtis. And that was Malik Wells, who had a touchdown last week in the Jamboree. Let's take a look again at the sophomore quarterback for the Patriots, Colin Guggenheim. Last year, he completed 54% of his passes, threw for over 500 yards. Also ran for over 400 yards, 13 touchdowns. A kid that really understands the offense. His dad played for John Curtis and ended up going to Iowa. So football is definitely in his blood. 3rd down and 6. Good pressure in the backfield, but there is a flag. So let's see if Landry Walker jumped off sides.
Well, it looked like one of the wide receivers for John Curtis may have moved, but let's see what the call is here. I think one of the wide receivers, got out of his stance. I think that was Tyrone Leggett.
Setting up 3rd down and long now for the Patriots at their own 45-yard line. Our referee tonight is R.G. Detillier. The umpire is James Murray. Head linesman Neil Whitney. Side judge is John Brindell. Line judge Alan Hell. Field judge Sean Watson. And the back judge is Ryan Johnson. Guggenheim will throw. He's got time. Now has to get out of the pocket, and he can run, and he's got a lot of room to run. Easy 1st down, it turns out, all the way up to the 24-yard line. And a big 3rd down pickup for the Patriots.
Well, a good look at Guggenheim's versatility here on the replay. He drops back, good blocking up front by that Curtis offensive line, and then Guggenheim just kind of does it on his own, breaks a tackle, and since they were dropping deep with the receivers, that running lane opens up, and a good 1st down, and is moving Curtis down the field, getting closer to the red zone here. Another look at it and his running ability. As you mentioned it, his dad's come through this program, and looks like there was a penalty on the play and gonna move them into the red zone. And Guggenheim was actually injured at the outset of the year. He didn't get a chance to start playing into the Jamboree, and now he's really beginning, his coaches thinking, starting to settle in, just a sophomore.
There was a face mask penalty after the 32-yard run, so now the ball is at the 17-yard line of Landry Walker. Guggenheim barking out the singles. Checked at the 12-yard line here for John Curtis. Guggenheim will pitch it out. This is Wells. Wells, not much running room, and he's gobbled up. Right at about the line of scrimmage. Malik Wells had 117 yards in the Jamboree, but was stopped there for no pickup.
Yeah, Malik Wells is their real strong, tough runner. As you mentioned, Jeff, they're missing their outstanding running back, Marquise Albert, but this is sort of, you have running back use. This is kind of a running back high school here. They produced a lot of good ones.
Yeah, they got about 5 or 6 different running backs that they can play here tonight. 2nd and 10 here for Guggenheim, and they're going to run the draw. Ernest Jones, and Jones maybe a yard or 2, and that's it. That Landry Walker defense that returns 9 starters so far, doing a nice job on the John Curtis running game. Pickup of only a yard as you look at Jones. Rushed for nearly 200 yards last season. Very physical for his size at 5'8", 195 pounds.
Yeah, and Landry Walker, that defensive front got a lot of guys returning, some highly recruited guys. They play seniors just across that front, and you talk to Coach Powell, this Landry Walker team, that's where they're going to have to make the difference this year.
Very stout up front. In fact, Coach Powell thinks this is the best defensive line they've had at Landry Walker. Guggenheim fires one to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Patriots. So Guggenheim makes a couple of big plays. That's Tyrone Leggett who catches it, but there is a flag in the backfield.
And we have a player down that you can see here, the flag, but there's a player down on the field as well. See what the call is.
So the personal foul penalty, roughing the passer, but Guggenheim finding Tyrone Leggett and the defensive back. Maybe we can catch it on the replay here.
Yeah, you see Guggenheim just a timing route with his receiver Tyrone Leggett in the end zone, and
the defensive back had fallen down in the end zone, and Leggett, whose dad played in the NFL for 7 years with the Saints, Bucks, and 49ers, gets a touchdown catch to begin the 2017 season.
You see the shaken up player there.
That is Ernest Simon, who's walking off the field, a 6'2", 200-pound senior linebacker. Well, Landry Walker really wanted to depend on their defense this season until their offense matures. We'll get into a little bit more about the Charging Bucks' new offense without Keaton Thompson and no more Tevin Bush, who's starring now for West Virginia. On the extra point try, Brock Wunsel. And it is good. Impressive opening drive for John Curtis. That took 3 minutes and 43 seconds off the clock, and it was very impressive for Colin Guggenheim, who was masterful in that 7-play, 69-yard drive, capped off with the 11-yard touchdown pass to Tyrone Leggett.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. Guggenheim had a couple of good plays on the drive. He had 2 good completions, one opening the game to Glenn Bill, and then finding Tyrone Leggett. I remember when his dad was the Saints, one of my favorite players. You probably remember him too. And then Guggenheim had that big scramble with a penalty on top of it. And, you know, John Curtis has to be happy with this opening drive. This is, you know, John Curtis offense at his best as they just methodically drove down the field.
They were never able to establish the run, but because of Guggenheim and that right arm of his and plus the legs on the scramble on the 3rd down, the Patriots still find the end zone to begin the 2017 season. Now remember, there was a roughing the passer penalty at the end of that touchdown pass, so Curtis will be kicking off at the Landry Walker 45-yard line, and this is always tempting for the special teams coach to tell the legendary J.T. Curtis, why don't we do an onside kick here?
It is tempting, but you got some guys on that other team called Devontae Jason and some other speedsters out there, and my bet is they're going to kick this thing deep. They're happy they got on the scoreboard first, but try to play field position against these guys and don't give these talented skill players of Landry Walker a short field.
Chad Alexander back to return for Landry Walker. I doubt he gets his hands on the football here. Onestill is going to blast this one through the back of the end zone. And now we will see the Landry Walker offense for the first time here tonight, trailing 7-0. This is an offense that put up 712 points on its way to winning the Class 5A state championship for Emmanuel Powell and company. A new quarterback, Jaquan Dorsey, a junior. We'll tell you a little bit more about him. Chad Alexander is outstanding, a junior running back. Already told you a little bit about Devontae Jason, Jerry Henry, Bobby Morgan, Johnny Anderson, the other wide receivers. On that offensive line, Calvin LeGrone is a outstanding left tackle, 28 pancake blocks a season ago. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Charging Bucks, and they line up in shotgun formation, and the junior quarterback Dorsey will hand it off to Alexander, and you can see he's got some nice moves out across the 30 to the 35, and then cut down at the 42-yard line. Great open field tackle by Donald Clay, who Louisiana Tech and Nicholls State is looking at, but not after a 23-yard run by Chad Alexander.
Well, you can already see the speed, the skill position players here for Landry Walker. Obviously, Chad Alexander filling in for Tevin Bush last year, and heck of an open carry there.
Up-tempo offense. This offense returns 7 starters. Similar to Curtis, want to run first as you look at Coach Emmanuel Powell, but Landry Walker obviously spreads it out where John Curtis plays more of your power formations, and now we have a whistle. And it's going to be a timeout for Landry Walker. They burned their first timeout of the game. 7:36 left to go in the first quarter. John Curtis leading Landry Walker. We'll have more on Game Time on Yurview after the break.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Hello, this is JT with Livingston Tourism. I just want to encourage you to come out and see us. We're just east of Baton Rouge on Interstate 12. We have Bass Pro, beautiful hotels, RV parks. So if you're looking for just a weekend getaway, you can come see us. Or if you're just traveling, stop by. We have restaurants, shopping, antique district, Jubin Crossing, golf. Anything you want to do, we have it here in Livingston Parish. So come see us. For any of our events, you can visit us at livingstontourism.com or on social media.
And as we returned, going back to pass was Dorsey, but nowhere to throw downfield, and then eventually the rush got to him. Angelo Anderson, a sophomore, 6'4", 265-pounder, wrapping up Dorsey to bring up second down and 12 from the 40-yard line. John Curtis mainly will start off playing zone in this game, but they're going to mix it up, play a little man. The biggest thing is they want to keep the ball carrier in front of them. Bit of a draw, and here's Chad Alexander. And Alexander is going to be wrestled to the ground by Ryan Gilmore, who had a dozen tackles a season ago. Let's take a look at John Curtis's defense after that 10-yard run by Chad Alexander. Just mentioned Angelo Anderson, Caleb Jordan, Colby Orgeron. Cade Belliso is an outstanding baseball player committed to LSU. Jake Curtis, Jaden Barfield, Michael Romano, Donald Clay, Cade Como, Brandon Davis, and Brenton Cloper. Last year allowed just 18 points a game. And they played well in the Jamboree last week against Covington. On third down, a quick pass to Devontae Jason, who's got the first down. Tripped up by Brandon Davis, another good baseball player, who had 36 tackles a season ago for the Patriots, but a first down for Landry Walker. Key pickup, and there's a look at Devontae Jason, one of the top wide receivers in the country. Five-star prospect is Jason. Right now committed to Kansas. Over 1,000 yards receiving a year ago, but still a lot of SEC schools, including LSU, very interested in Devontae Jason. Dorsey to throw. Dorsey nowhere to throw downfield. Showing a, oh, now he fumbles the ball, and it's going to be the Patriots recovering it. Held that ball out there, and he got popped. And Nicholas Duncan recovers it. First down, John Curtis at the Landry Walker 46-yard line.
Well, here you go on the replay. Obviously, his first couple of reads weren't open. And then, like last year, the big-time quarterback trying to improvise and really just should have got that ball away. You can see there the John Curtis defenders closing in. And here again, trying to make something happen. Good that he's keeping his eyes down the field, but at some point, you've got to release that football there. Got himself in trouble, lost the football. Now John Curtis is going to recover with good field.
Drake Brantley on the sack and the forced fumble. And Coach Curtis told us earlier this week, Jason, they wanted to put pressure just using the front four, and they've done a nice job covering the wide receivers, and eventually that pocket has been breaking down on Jaquan Dorsey. That time it resulted in a turnover.
Well, and you got to remember, this is going to be Jaquan Dorsey's first time running this team, and these are some of the mistakes that they cannot have, particularly if they're going to be playing against the likes of a John Curtis. And on that last possession, actually the front held up good, but it just took too long to get the football out.
Last year, John Curtis went 11-1, lost in the semifinals to Evangel Christian. Earlier tonight, we talked to J.T. Curtis about what he'll tell his team as they take the field.
I think it's like any other big game. As you said, we've been in a lot of big games at a lot of different venues, and we're going to have to just go out and play our game. The field's 100 yards long. It's got two 10-yard end zones. It's 53 yards wide, and the hash marks don't change. So we just have to go out and play football the way we practice every day and do the things that are fundamentally sound to give us a chance to win the game.
First and 10 at the 46 for John Curtis. Back to the running game and that power veer type offense as they get about 5 yards off the right side. That is Darian Washington on the carry. 118 yards rushing last week. 118 yards rushing last year in this game against Landry Walker. He was bothered by an ankle injury and missed much of the season. Second down and 6. Another run right up the middle, and this is Malik Wells. About 2 yards shy of the first down.
Well, you can already see the contrasting styles of these two teams. You see when Landry Walker comes out on offense, it's quick, it's the spread, get the ball out, try to get the ball out quick, high tempo. And then you see John Curtis huddled up more methodical, veer option. And you talk to Coach Curtis, he really wants to shorten the game, slow the game down. And while Landry Walker's on defense, they can't use a lot of those field position players on offense.
Third down and 3. Guggenheim barking the signals. And Guggenheim keeps it, and he's got the first down. Nearly broke it up to the 31-yard line. He gets 8 on the first down run by Guggenheim. And once again, Guggenheim using his legs to move the chains.
You get another good look, just reading out of that veer option. And this is John Curtis football. They just love to pound it at you. They're going to throw 3-4 backs at you. Their whole idea is just wear you down. And as it gets later in the game, those tackles become even tougher to make.
Looks like we have a timeout on the field. Actually, a flag is on the field. J.T. Curtis, who played
5-yard penalty. First down.
So John Curtis breaking the huddle with 12 players. As you look at J.T. Curtis, played for the legendary Frank Broyles at Arkansas. Used to be the baseball coach, too. His son now handles those duties, but he's won a lot of championships in both sports. 26 on the football side. Max Preps has John Curtis coming into the season ranked 46 in the country.
You know, Jeff, I just wonder if there's a Curtis in River Ridge or Jefferson Parish that's not working at the school John Curtis, coaching John Curtis, or playing on the football team.
It has been a great story what they have done there. It's been a great story with Landry Walker. Of course, L.W. Landry and O.P. Walker combining schools to form Landry Walker. A run up the middle there on first down. Not much doing for Washington, only a yard or two. And it's second and long.
Well, this is a little more of what Landry Walker wants to see, not give up those chunks in those running plays. And what I mean by chunks are the 3-yard varieties, the 4-yard varieties. That's what keeps the chain short for John Curtis, and first downs easier to come by.
Second and 14. Wells in the backfield, along with Washington. Guggenheim to throw again. Pass behind the intended receiver as he was trying to get it to Leggett. Leggett's really a polished wide receiver as you take a look at him. Southeastern Louisiana and South Alabama, a couple of schools looking at him. But I think his stock will just continue to grow. Caught 20 passes a season ago, but really lit it up during the summer camp season. A lot of schools like what they see from Leggett, and football's in his blood, as we mentioned, his dad, a former NFL wide receiver.
Well, and this is not a pass-happy offense either, so he's not going to put up the enormous stats. But Guggenheim was just a little behind him on that last throw.
So third down, they run the draw. Good job by Wells to get away from the initial tackler, but then got hammered, absolutely lit up on the play as Landry Walker's Daniel King crowned him on that one, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, that was a big hit. I think King Antoine Francis came in there from that strong safety position. But watch here, and right there, he just got a helmet full, and I think that was number 8, Taiwan Francis, who's also being recruited. Good job getting around, but what? Boy, that's a hammer.
So fourth down, Curtis will go for it at the 33-yard line. Guggenheim looked like he was trying to draw Landry Walker off sides, and then John Curtis, I believe, called timeout. We'll see here. Or nope, delay of game penalty called on John Curtis.
Yeah, this is going to be now and very interesting call here.
I think they punted away now at this point.
I do too. I mean, 7-0 again. Coach Curtis talks about field position is everything, and he talked about Coach Powell. He also knew that John Curtis was going to try to field position them a bit, keep them, pinned back in their own territory and try to work from there.
But a good defensive stand for Landry Walker after the turnover. Curtis takes over in charge in Buck territory, but unable to move the chains other than just that one time. One still on the punt, trying a little coffin corner action here, Jason. And he does a very nice job. Don't see that too often. And it's going to be at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, terrific punt there. And, even the punting game has changed in football. They kind of do the end-over-end punts, and he pulled that off successful. And, again, John Curtis now backing Landry Walker up to their own 8-yard line. Dorsey will have to work from there.
Landry Walker averaged 48 points a game a season ago. Keaton Thompson was such an important member of the football team, the school, the Algiers community, now playing at Mississippi State. First and 10 at the 9-yard line. And Alexander unable to get away from the first tackler, and he's brought down at the 5-yard line. Great penetration by the Patriots. I think that was Cade Belloso who got back there and got a hand on Alexander before he could get the Jets going.
Yeah, looked like he almost got a face mask there too. Didn't get called, but
Colby Orgeron, on the tackle, the 6'6" defensive end. And was this a horse collar?
Let's see here, and started up top, and that's close. Didn't get him from behind, and you mentioned Orgeron, no relation, they don't think, to the football coach at LSU, but Dorsey still operating deep from his own territory.
Second and 13, quick pass by Dorsey off the hands of Jerry Henry. 5'11" senior, and now it's third and long for the charging Bucks.
And those are the plays that they've got to connect on. It was a little low by Dorsey, but Jerry Henry was hitting himself. He should have been able to pick up that ball. Those are essentially running plays for the charging Bucks. Getting that ball out quickly and getting north and south, and another missed opportunity. That's that chemistry that's got to develop here quickly for this charging Bucks offense.
So Torrey Cargo is the quarterback right now for Landry Walker, and Emmanuel Powell had said that we would see two quarterbacks. Cargo's a senior that can make all the throws. Third down and long, and they run the draw to Alexander. He's got the first down up to the 22-yard line. Nice pickup of about 15 yards, and Chad Alexander says, I'll do more of that if you keep feeding me the ball. Boy, is he quick. Lightning in a bottle.
And he's hard to see. You can see here, lined up on the side of Cargo, just a deep handoff, and, just gets through that opening there quickly, burst of speed, and really, Alexander's been the whole offense up to this point.
Cargo still in at quarterback. The 5'9" Alexander standing next to the 6'3" Cargo. First and 10, and I don't think Landry Walker was ever set. Nope, they called the timeout before the snap. So that is the second timeout for the charging Bucks. As you look at Torrey Cargo. Well, we've talked a lot about the great history of the John Curtis Patriots, and it all started with their head football coach, J.T. Curtis, who's in his 48th season. He is the all-time, or at this moment, he is the active winningest coach in all of high school football across the country. Here, though, is how it looks all-time. You have John McKissick, who coached at Summerville, South Carolina, who retired in 2014 with 621 victories. JT's at 561. Larry Campbell out of Lincoln County, and then Mike Smith from Hampton. But JT Curtis at 561. But as we spoke with him earlier this week, it's not about the victories for Coach Curtis. It's about developing young men, trying to make an impression on their lives, and the championships kind of come along with that.
And you talk to him, he's still got a lot of energy. I think that record is in jeopardy.
1st and 10, another quick swing pass, and Henry drops another one. The timing of that pass, they just can't get it going right now for Landry Walker.
Well, you have a little excitement. It's a big game, but the first thing you have to do as a wide receiver is look that ball in. They're coming out a little low, but, you know, Jerry Henry, you see him there. He can make that catch, and he knows it. He's upset with himself. In fact, they've given him the #1 jersey. You know, Coach Powell gives that jersey out to the person that epitomizes what the program is all about.
Well, Chad Alexander has been the offense, as you mentioned a few moments ago, Jason. Gets about 5 there. Was wrestled to the ground by Nicholas Duncan. So 3rd and 5. Landry Walker quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Again, Cardinals still in at quarterback, checking to the sidelines for the play. Here's the screen pass this time. It's complete, and a nice move, and that should be enough for a first down, I believe. Owusu Kaba on the grab. Nope, check that. That is Jasper Cook.
Yeah, you can see they finally got the ball out in the flat. They made the catch. Jasper Cook getting upfield. See, that's what John Curtis can't allow right there, that yard after the catch, and that's what allows Landry Walker to make the first down. Good job breaking a tackle and getting forward by Cook.
Ryan Gilmore escorted him out of bounds, and back to Alexander. And that time he is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Matthew Jane, a sophomore, who's going to play a lot more this season, obviously, in on the stop. Looks like, though, a penalty on the Patriots. And it could be face mask.
Yeah, they're pointing against John Curtis. And
face mask against the Patriots.
This is going to give this Landry Walker offense a little life. And you've already mentioned it, Jeff. They've made a change at the quarterback position. You know, they've been wondering what they're going to get out of Dorsey, and we talked to Coach Powell, and they said, hey, if they have to make the change, they will, in order to get this team in rhythm, and we would go with the senior.
Dorsey fumbled the ball the last time he was out there, and Tony Cargo trying to lead this drive. They've already picked up a couple of first downs, and they get another one on the penalty. Ball all the way up to the 41-yard line, started at their own 9-yard line, and that's going to be it for our first quarter. John Curtis scored on the opening drive. Then they forced a turnover, but they were not able to capitalize on that turnover. And now Landry Walker has a bit of the momentum in their favor. Great first quarter, more to come. Stay tuned for more Game Time on Yurview.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're a business looking to expand into Louisiana or Livingston Parish, we have a lot of advantages. We are now expanding our road system and infrastructure. We have a first-class mainline railroad. We're making more sites available to relocating businesses. If you're looking for a new location for your business, contact us at the LEDC. You can go to our website, www.ledc.net, or call our office at 225-686-3982.
The Game Time High School Football Game of the Week on Yurview is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue, slow-cooked, fall-off-the-bone perfection, and the best baked beans in America. ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. Gary Lewis Properties, from apartments, condominiums, and townhomes. Gary Lewis Properties, a top provider in Baton Rouge of residential and commercial property for rent.
Cox.com/learn.
Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuire and Jessica Province down on the sidelines. Opening week of high school football here in Louisiana. Landry Walker, the defending 5A champs, and that is intercepted. Pass over the middle of the field, picked off, second turnover of the night. And how about a number 99 down the field, making the interception? That is Jay Curtis, again, the grandson of J.T. Curtis. A 3-year starter, the leader of that front seven, making a big interception. And Patriots back in business in Landry Walker territory.
And you want your signal caller on defense in the right play, and there he was. There's Jay Curtis. We featured him at the outset. Great grab there, but, again, struggling at the quarterback position for Landry Walker. Oftentimes you say late over the middle, it's often trouble, and in fact, Cargo laid over the middle on that throw, and there were just too many Patriots sitting around there, and Jay Curtis able to come up with the interception.
Curtis defeated Landry Walker 35-22 last year, and in that game, Landry Walker had 3 turnovers and 15 penalties. So 1st and 10 at the 44 for the Patriots. Second straight drive starting in Landry Walker territory. Guggenheim wants it all, and it's nearly intercepted, and then almost caught. Tried to get the ball to Corey Wren. And I like the play call there after the turnover. You try to really capitalize on the momentum.
It looks like a flag there, but this is one that Michael Ray really needs to come up with it for his team, and this has been the difference. The Charging Bucks have not been making the plays, and Michael Ray could have come up that and gotten the ball back. Good coverage, though, but you're right. After the outset there, John Curtis tried to go for a home run.
So a penalty on the Patriots backs them up 10 yards back into the 39-yard line. Check that, even more than 10 yards. This drive started at the 44, so about a 17-yard penalty here. First down and long. Washington got away from the first tackler, shows off that speed and gets bumped out of bounds pretty hard by Damon Johnson, a junior. But Washington got most of those yards back after the penalty.
Yeah, and you can see there just breaking the tackle in the backfield, getting to the outside and showing you his speed, and really almost could have been another late get there.
Right about that. And there is a discussion on the Patriots sidelines, and you have to wonder if that's what there may be a flag on that side. We have a low advantage point here at Berman Stadium, so sometimes those flags, you just don't see them, especially on the far side of the field.
There's Damon Johnson, number 13. He's probably wondering if they got him as well, but actually it looks like they're pointing against the Patriots here, and that'd be a big break, big break for Landry Walker.
So block in the back. There's the personal foul penalty on the late hit. So they're marking off at this moment the block in the back, and then after that, I'm assuming, yep, they're going to go 15 yards back the other way. And they'll place the ball down at the 44-yard line. Landry Walker band.
One of the best in the state. You can see one of the biggest in the state. And you mentioned after the two schools combined, Jeff, Landry and O'Perry Walker, has really produced a lot of talent on the football field, but also a lot of talent in the band as well.
Handoff up the middle, and just a few yards for Malik Wells. Close to the 50-yard line. Gain of 5 for Wells, a 6-foot senior. They really like his potential. Brings up second down and 17.
Yeah, and this is a big down here for the Charging Bucks. They really need to hold him, not give up a bunch, and try to force a 3rd and long situation.
Guggenheim to throw. Zips one over the middle and drops. And the receiver took quite a lick afterwards. That was Leggett, who got rocked by Ernest Simon. Simon, we saw leave the field early on in the game, and there was also great coverage by Michael Ray.
Yeah, and this was actually a very good throw. Just had to squeeze that ball in tight, and here you go, Damon Johnson again, coming and cleaning that up. This time he says, it is a legal hit, and I dislodged that football, and that's a big play there, making sure that Tyron Leggett does not come down with that football. Caught a touchdown earlier.
There are some that believe Landry Walker has the best defensive backs in the state, and they showed it right there. The 3rd and long draw fools no one. Jones was taken down immediately, and there is Kevin Smith, a 6'2", 280-pound senior. And once again, the Patriots, they get a turnover, they start a possession in Landry Walker territory, and they don't score.
Well, there was a big second down that Landry Walker stopped him, and that forced a 3rd and long. And this Curtis football team is not built for 3rd and 17 or 3rd and 18 pickups, so that's what they have to do on defense. Now let's see if they can try to pick up some field position from this punt.
One still on the punt, and it's not a very good punt. But it takes a Patriots bounce, and it'll be serviceable out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Let's send it down to the field and Jessica Province. Jessica?
Well, Jeff, a lot of our Louisiana game time coverage would not be possible without our friends at Louisiana Farm Bureau, and I'm so happy to be joined by Avery Davidson, who is at the Public Relations Department. And Avery, Louisiana not hit so hard this week, but Texas was devastated with Hurricane Harvey, and now we have Irma in the Gulf. How is Louisiana Farm Bureau preparing and faring with these events?
Well, naturally, we prepare in advance just to make sure that we have all the people in the right places if there is an event like this that happens. Fortunately, in this case, with Harvey, it didn't hit as hard as we thought it would. We did have some flooding over in the Moss Bluff area. We did have some folks who had some claims over in Southwest and in Western Louisiana, but we had our agents and our claims agents out there in the field immediately. I'm taken back to the floods of last year. My 2nd grade teacher, Brenda Prejean, told me that while the floodwaters were coming up around her house, her Louisiana Farm Bureau agent called her to make sure she was okay. A gecko is not going to call you. A name your own price tool is a name your own claim denial tool. And the Statue of Liberty is in New York, not in your neighborhood. But your Louisiana Farm Bureau insurance agent is in your neighborhood, and they're going through all the same things you are and going to make sure you're okay.
Well, the motto is real service, real people, and we're seeing you out here tonight. That means you are fully involved with Louisiana high school football. Talk to me about that partnership.
Well, you know, we depend on our team to take care of our policyholders, our members. We affectionately refer to it as the Farm Bureau family, and all a family is a team bound by blood. Well, out here, we have teams that are just out here giving it all, putting their blood on the line, and that is what the kind of thing that we want to support. That's what we want to foster. Some of these kids out here are our future insurance agents. They're our future policyholders. And in the case of the Farm Bureau Federation, they're our future volunteer leaders. And that's what we want. We want to foster teamwork and foster leadership. And there's no better way to do that than by working with Cox, by working with Yurview, and sponsoring these high school football games.
Avery, thank you so much for your leadership and your support.
Thank you.
Jeff, catch us back up.
Wow, Jaquan Dorsey avoids danger there, and then a flag flies after the drop pass. Dorsey back out there. He was sacked on the play before. A high snap there. Jasper Cook couldn't catch the pass from Dorsey, and we got to find out what the flag is all about. But this was a wild play, Jason.
Yeah, this is one where you say yes, no, no, yes. And actually, I was thinking Dorsey should have gotten rid of that football again. Really could have been disastrous. Fortunate to break free, and then Cook can't come down with the football, and this has been the story of Landry Walker all night, just not making the plays when they need to.
But that might be a late hit on John Curtis. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Been a lot of flags and, on both sides, and this one is clearly bailing out the Chargers offense.
Let's see if the defensive back had a chance to hold up there. Yeah, I would say that you got to make that call. That's Donald Clay being aggressive there, the Patriots defensive back, but it's a gift for the Charging Bucks. Dorsey will hand it off to Alexander, slips one tackle, and gets up to the 50-yard line. Again, Chad Alexander continues to be the only thing positive for this Charging Bucks offense as he gets 7 yards on the carry.
And right now, Chad Alexander, as you see him right there, number 4, he is the key to the game. Why? Because both of the Charging Bucks quarterbacks are struggling, and so they've got to get those yards on the ground from Chad Alexander.
Dorsey walks up to the line of scrimmage. Offensive coordinator for Landry Walker is John Johnson. He was a quarterback for Perry Walker, and look out, Alexander gobbled up and thrown down by Drake Brantley. That sophomore has made a couple of big plays tonight, and he makes another one for John Curtis.
Yeah, and you can, I don't know if we'll get this, but the timing was off. You could see there, they were late coming out of their breaks, and nobody accounted for Brantley. And boy. That is a load coming at you. Chad Alexander says, I want to find another hole.
5'10", 305 pounds, and may I dare say Drake Brantley might be the next great defensive lineman coming out of the state of Louisiana with that kind of size and athleticism and quickness. So third down, and the ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Alexander caught it, but they say the ball hit the ground. But Jaquan Dorsey, he's only 5'9", Jason, and he never really got that ball above his offensive line.
No, they are struggling, and I'm going to tell you, that is going to be the key. Landry Walker has got to figure out a way to get this offense in rhythm. Not just Chad Alexander, but they've got to make some of these quick hitches, these easy pitches to their wide receivers. They've got to complete those in order to get this offense going.
Devontae Jason on the punt, low snap, and he gets off a decent punt. Taken at the 26-yard line in traffic. Not much running room, and falling down is Corey Wren. Loses yards after making the catch.
Well, Corey Wren, one of the faster players on that Curtis team, just a freshman, but you see they have confidence in him returning the punts, and good coverage there by the Charging Bucks. And I'll tell you, Jeff, I didn't think the only time I'd be calling Devontae Jason's name by now is when he's punting the football.
All right, so John Curtis, this is their 4th possession. They took the opening drive of the night and scored a touchdown. Their last 2 possessions started in Landry Walker territory after turnovers, but did not score. And now this time they'll start from their own 20-yard line.
And I think this is going to be a critical drive here. I mean, it's only 7-0, but just watching this game, you would think it's 14 or 21-0, all the chances that John Curtis. So if Landry Walker can somehow get a stop here, get it into the half and kind of regroup, probably keep this game close.
Inside give, nothing doing. Landry Walker making sure that didn't go far at all. I believe that was Brian Henry on the tackle, a loss. They got back to the line of scrimmage.
And that front line for the Charging Bucks is really stepping up now, and really John Curtis was having their way with the running attack. Landry Walker's kind of slowed that down a bit. Let's see if John Curtis is going to go to the air.
Guggenheim on the option, keeps it, nowhere to run. Bunch of chrome helmets there to make sure he couldn't get very far, maybe a yard, that's about it. 2 yards, 3rd down and 8 for the Patriots.
Well, again, this is where you want this Patriot offense, 3rd and long, and if I'm Landry Walker, I'm trying to locate Mr. Leggett, and I'm also trying to locate Mr. Beal. That's probably going to be the outlet for Guggenheim on a 3rd and long situation.
From the 33-yard line. Guggenheim throws, and it is incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Beal. Also in the vicinity for the Patriots was Wren.
Yeah, and his first two reads on that play were to Leggett and Beal. Leggett on the far left. He was not open. He tried to come back to Beal over the middle, and good defense again. But is there another?
No flag.
No flag. Okay. There's been a lot of flags. I see everybody looking around, and the Patriots running their punt team out.
Emmanuel Powell said field position was important. This might be the best field position Landry Walker has had, depending on what happens with this punt. A big 3 and out as JT Curtis hoping Brock Onestell, his punter, can really get a lot of leg into this one.
And if I'm the Bucs, ball security is the first thing here. Just make sure you get the ball back.
On the return and taken off. Getting upended up to the 41-yard line. Great return there for Landry Walker's Tywan Francis. He returns at 15 yards into John Curtis territory. 7-0 our score from New Orleans. Stay tuned for more Game Time on Yurview after the break.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
Tonight's Game Time Spotlight player is sponsored by Crown Trophy. Nationally known, locally owned. Your home for all your trophy and engraving needs. Join us all fall long for tomorrow's classics today, only on Yurview.
7-0 is our score from New Orleans, Louisiana. John Curtis leading Landry Walker in a back matchup of two powerhouses in the state of Louisiana. Landry Walker starting this drive in Patriots territory. Another high snap. Cargo comes up with it, throws over the middle, and it was caught up to the 20-yard line. Great grab over the middle of the field. Nicely done by Landry Walker's Leonard Price Jr. That's only the second completion of the night for Charging Bucks as Torrey Cargo back out there again, taking the snaps from the 21-yard line. They go to Chad Alexander, and he is taken down right away. Angelo Anderson made the stop. Earlier tonight, we talked to Emmanuel Powell about his two-quarterback system.
I think two is better than one, exactly at this particular time in the season. So I think eventually we'll settle on one, but right now they both bring two different skill sets to the table right now, and that's what we're going to try to utilize tonight.
Keaton Thompson was such a great player, Mr. Football in the state of Louisiana. They need two guys to replace him. Nowhere to run for Cargo after the high snap. Now he just puts it down, looking to try to make something happen with his feet, and he gets to the 15-yard line. Great job of improvising there for Torrey Cargo.
Well, my rule of thumb, Jeff, if you have two, you really don't have any. I know it's early in the season, but they're really trying to figure this quarterback thing out, and with a rhythm offense like that, they're going to eventually have to settle on one of these guys, and really what I think this is a quarterback competition going on right now.
Ball at the 15-yard line. Cargo has given the Charging Bucks offense a bit of a spark here, completing a pass for a first down and then making a nice run after the high snap. They gotta get the snap down. James Jenkins, the center, has had a couple that's nearly, well, he's had one that's gone over the quarterback's head. Timeout, Landry Walker. 3:40 to go before halftime. Let's take a look at our spotlight players while we have a moment. First of all, for Landry Walker, Chad Alexander, who's been very impressive running the football here tonight. And then Cade Belloso, who is a really good baseball player. He's one of the top baseball players in the state. Expected to really make an impact. He didn't play football last season. He's a transfer in from Texas, but expected to make an impact in this Patriots front seven that really only returns a couple of starters from last year's team in that front seven.
Well, and he's already gotten his nose in there on a few plays, and you know, Alexander really is keeping Landry Walker's offense in it right now, so you can see why we've spotlighted those two guys. But you're right, Jeff, you mentioned earlier about the snap. There have been a lot of high snaps from the center, and that really throws the timing of this quick spread offense off.
Third down at the 15. Here's a pass to the end zone. Jason, one-handed catch, touchdown, flags are down, though. We'll see what happens, but Devontae Jason with a highlight film catch.
Well, if you want to know why he's one of the top wide receivers, clearly one of the top 10 players in the state, and probably one of the top wide receivers in the country, it's because of plays like this. We hadn't called his name on offense, and the first time we do, he has the ball in the end zone on an unbelievable grab. Beckham S, who would be proud of this grab, just really throws it up there, one-on-one coverage, and almost looks like the defensive back just has one arm pinned by Devontae Jason, and he manages to go up with one hand, come down, keep possession, hold on to it, got the infraction. They will clearly decline that, and now on the scoreboard. Chance to tie the game up.
Donald Clay didn't have a chance there, the defensive back, the extra point try. And it is blocked. And you cannot return a blocked extra point in high school football in Louisiana. So John Curtis still has the lead.
But Jeff, and you and I talked about it a little bit before the game. I thought special teams could also make the difference. And, you know, Landry Walker's got to be crisp, because those 1 point can make the difference in a football game that's as tight as this.
Can we see the Devontae Jason catch again? I think it's worthy of another look, Jason.
Yeah, I think you should see it. You should see it now, and you should see it later on the news replays. And he's just a special kid, and really he's been bottled up, and not so much bottled up, I don't want to say that, but the quarterback has not been able to get him the ball, and they just said, hey, we're going to throw it up on ISO coverage, and we think our guy is better than yours, and he showed why he's such a special player.
Torrey Cargo threw the touchdown pass there, but speaking of touchdown passes, Keaton Thompson threw a bunch during his time at Landry Walker, leading the Charging Bucks to their first ever state championship in football. There he is, Mr. Football for the state of Louisiana in 2016. Ended up moving on to Mississippi State, where he's backing up Nick Fitzgerald. But Landry Walker, a very special team a season ago. They put up some huge numbers offensively. I said it earlier tonight, scoring 712 points in 15 games.
Well, how do you let a guy like that outside of the gates of Louisiana? I tell you what, but when you talk about 5,000 yards and 70 touchdowns, that's a lot of offense.
Ball returned from inside the 10-yard line, and the Patriots making something happen on special teams. Once again, Brandon Davis to the end zone, touchdown, John Curtis.
Wow, unbelievable. And that'll really...
That was Tyrone Leggett on the 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
That'll really put a damper on this Buck crowd. How the momentum can change so quickly in football. It had been a 7-0 game up until this point. Now all of a sudden, within a few seconds of each other, you got 14 more points scored. And Tyrone Leggett, his father used to do some returning for the Saints, and I tell you what, he's mimicking some of that here. And he's going to be a special football player. You know, not a terribly big kid, but you can see he just runs smooth. Good wide receiver, good hands, and obviously can do a whole lot when he gets into the open space.
Great block in the middle of the field by Ernest Jones. Took out a couple of Landry Walker defenders. But you're right, Jason. Special teams so huge in a game like this. And after the block extra point, John Curtis returns the ensuing kickoff. 89 yards is the official tally on that one. And Tyrone Leggett now has 2 touchdowns here tonight. The one he caught on the opening drive of the game for John Curtis, and they're returning that one into the end zone.
Yeah, what a bag breaker.
Whistles before the snap.
And that's 2 really big Let me make the
Number
call
55,
here.
offense.
That's 2 big special teams plays back to back. You miss the extra point, and then you turn around, give a touchdown up on the kickoff. And you kind of keep that John Curtis offense somewhat composed, and then you allow a touchdown on special teams.
Try the extra point again. Brock Onestell. High snap. But it is through the uprights, and now John Curtis leads it 14-6 with 3:18 left in the first half. Let's take a look at this one more time on the return by Leggett.
Yeah, what a special player in the making. And, you mentioned college has already taken a look at him, and he's one of those kids, if he just had a little bit more height at the receiver position, all the big ones would be looking at him too, but who knows, that may change, and another player injured here. You hate to see that.
Training staff for John Curtis taking a look at the player.
I tell you what, Jeff, it has turned out to be a beautiful night of football as we keep the folks in Texas and particularly the Houston area in our thoughts and prayers. And then you come out here and you have such a beautiful day. And the folks in this New Orleans area playing this, and actually Orleans Parish, John Curtis right over there in Jefferson Parish, they know all too well about what they're going through. And, many people in this area who weren't impacted are trying to give back to those in the Houston area.
Work on the left leg of Zachary Englander. Here's the deep snap.
The injured player on the field, Dakota's number 23, Zachary Englander.
Hope that young man is going to be okay.
There's the fans from John Curtis.
John Curtis private school plays in an all-Catholic schools league. I wonder how many systems across the country have an all-Catholic league, Jeff.
Not too many. They made the decision a couple of years ago to play in the Catholic League and move up. And the last couple of years just have not been able to get through the state championship game. Remember, on the Division I side, there's really only a handful of teams that make the playoffs, so there's a good likelihood that you'll face a team that you played in the regular season in district play again in the playoffs. And sometimes very difficult to beat the same team twice. That might have been the case a couple years ago when they lost to Jesuit in the semifinals. Let's try to see what might have happened. Again, take a look at the long snapper here. Englander, middle of your screen. And, just got that knee hyperextended as Landry.
Got that plant foot, that left plant foot caught in the turf there. This is a turf field, and while it was kind of caught in the turf, as you saw, get nicked coming through there. And
I see a player in the background. Looks like the Princeton Stevens, a backup long snapper. He's taking some snaps because Englander may not be able to return here tonight.
Yeah, it's such a critical position, particularly at this level. You typically don't have a lot of backup long snappers. So I know they're going to be trying to work on him, see if they can keep him healthy. You see Coach Curtis having a conversation. They're probably like, well, who do we go to next? Well, it's interesting talking to him. I mean, that guy's got so much passion, so much energy, love what he does, and, I really think that he could continue to do this, Jeff, for another, I know it's his 48th season, but it wouldn't shock me if he did it for another 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons.
He said he'll stop coaching when the passion goes away, but it doesn't seem like the passion's going away anytime soon. He said, if the day I stop not making a major difference or a major impact, then I'll just walk away. One still on the end-over-end kick. Handled at the 23-yard line. Landry Walker trying to return the favor with a return for themselves. A lot of running, a lot of moving, and all the way up to the 48-yard line. Nice return there.
That's Tywan Francis. We've seen him in the open field a couple times, once dancing around on the punt earlier, and here, I swear, he must have reversed fields at least 6 times, and really tough to tackle and bring down, looking for open daylight, didn't want to give up.
2 personal foul penalties were thrown on each team. There you look at Torrey Cargo. So Cargo coming out for his 2nd straight possession after leading the Charging Bucks to a touchdown last time down.
Yeah, he was able to connect with a few receivers, had a good slant route over the middle that he was able to complete that kind of propelled this offense down the field. And, you know, he may be settling in a little bit here and bringing a little life here to the Buck offense.
Yeah, before that last drive, Landry Walker had just completed only 1 pass on the night. Chad Alexander with a head of steam to the 33-yard line. Nicholas Duncan with the tackle.
Well, I think they've found a replacement for Tevin Bush, Jeff.
Yes,
I mean, this guy is a very capable ball carrier. I tell you what, he reminds me of Tyler Goldman in Denham Springs. They're about the same height, maybe the same number, but very shifty, quick burst.
19-yard run. Alexander gets it again. Off the right side. More white jerseys there to impede his progress as he only gets 2. Ryan Gilmore, one of the defenders there for John Curtis.
And the Bucks are a little bit more methodical. There's only 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the half. Clearly they're thinking we can score quickly, but we don't want to give Curtis the football back either. So let's take our time. Let's get it right. Let's try to move down the field and at least get some more points, closing the game up before the half.
And Landry Walker will get the ball to begin the second half as well. Alexander, again, nowhere to run. Flag down. Alexander goes down close to the line of scrimmage. Finally finished off on the play by Matthew Jane.
And that's typically going to be a holding where that flag was called. And that was the call. And, you know, I believe Coach Powell right now is thinking 4 downs, unless they get backed up significantly. I think he's thinking 4 downs each possession here, and so he knows he's got 4 downs to pick up the first down and eventually try to get in the end zone. But let's see, they were really going to have to build on something, try to get something going here.
Second down at about 19.
Actually running a lot more under the center, had been operating more from the shotgun.
Quick pass out to the near side. Jerry Henry catches at that time, but brought down quickly on the play.
Well, Jerry Henry finally hangs on to one. They've been trying to get him the ball, you know, most of the night out there on that little hitch route, but hadn't been able, and they actually juggled that one a bit.
He was tackled by Chauncey Crum, a sophomore.
See Jerry Henry there, real speedster there. Coach says he can really get north and south quickly, stretch the field. Time winding down here, about 1:15 left.
3rd and long. Cargo once again will get underneath center. That eliminates the high snap on the shotgun. Cargo flips one out to the far side, and the receiver is hit immediately. Ryan Gilmore all over the young man who caught the ball, Johnny Anderson, who's got a lot of speed.
Well, good arm. This is an out route. He throws this ball clear across the field, but I suspect they will go for it here on 4th down, not wanting to punt the ball over. 40, you can see there, time clicking, about 45 seconds left.
4th down and 13. Landry Walker will huddle up.
They really want to take their time in case they don't get it. But if they do end up picking this first down, you're going to see them really hurry up.
8 seconds on the play clock. And
timeout.
Timeout Patriots.
Yeah, I think Coach Curtis wanted to see how they were going to line up, what formation, and, get a quick timeout before they were able to get the play off. This will be a big down for both squads.
Let's send it down to Jessica, who has an update on an injury.
Yeah, Jeff, Zach Englander is on the training table, and it looks like it's going to be a left knee injury. Now, I have to be honest, it looks like his heart might outweigh his facial expressions because it seems as though he's putting on a knee brace and going to attempt to be back out on the field.
Well, that just gives you an idea of the character of that young man to what looked to be a very significant knee injury if he's able to return here tonight. We'll see. Now, on this play for Landry Walker, Jason, I think what I tell number 3, Devontae Jason, to do is just run to the corner of the end zone again. I'm going to throw it to you. And you beat out the 3 or 4 white jerseys that are standing next to you.
Yeah, I mean, this ball, you got to believe that they're going to try to get the ball to number 3. But the problem is Curtis is also thinking they're probably going to get the ball to number 3. And Devontae Jason has seen double and triple coverages. But you're right. I'd still try to force it in there. And even if they don't complete it here, you still leave somewhat of a long field for John Curtis with 20 seconds left.
Cargo will get underneath center again on 4th down. Back to pass. Fires towards the end zone. Batted away. Nice deflection by Cade Como, who had 6 passes defensed a season ago, and he got another one.
Well, and believe it or not, they actually used Devontae Jason as the decoy, coming under the middle a little bit, and then wanted to get it deep there to Johnny Anderson, who also can get down the field. Pretty good design there, and actually almost fortunate that he wasn't able to come up the ball off of the tip there, but good defense there by the Patriots.
So just 16 seconds left to go in this first half. Patriots look like they'll take a 8-point lead into the locker room. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line, but John Curtis in victory formation as they'll just kneel this one. Guggenheim, a really good first half, the sophomore, threw a touchdown, and it was a great first half for Tyrone Leggett, who we mentioned early on in the broadcast. We think his recruiting stock will grow as the season goes on. He returned a kick for a touchdown, and he also caught a touchdown pass. Landry Walker's offense really struggled in the first quarter. Part of that is new personnel at quarterback and running back. Part of that is John Curtis's defense. They showed some signs of life there in the second quarter, shaping up to be what should be a tremendous second half here. Jessica trying to track down the head football coach for the John Curtis Patriots, JT Curtis, and he is making his way over to one of our cameramen. Let's send it down to the field. Jessica?
Thanks, Jeff. Coach, the scoreboard doesn't quite show it, but your offense isn't taking advantage of all the opportunities you're given. How do you change that going forward?
No, they really hadn't, and that's something we've got to adjust here at halftime and do a better job of controlling the inside 2 techs. They really get a lot of problems. They're good athletes, they're quick, and they've given us some trouble.
Holding Landry Walker to only 1 touchdown, how would you assess what your defense has been able to
Hold this team to 1 touchdown, you're doing a pretty good job. We want to continue to play great defense. Got to move the ball offensively, keep our defense off the field a little bit.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
14-6 is our score at halftime. John Curtis got 2 turnovers in that first half, but they weren't able to capitalize on them. But their defenses looked really good against this explosive Landry Walker offense. We'll have our halftime show from New Orleans when we come back. More Game Time on.
Halftime on Game Time is brought to you by Livingston Parish Economic Development Council, reminding you that Livingston Parish is the place to be. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College, and we are so excited to have been awarded Forbes Magazine's top 30 two-year technical colleges in America. To achieve this award, ITI was recognized for our high scores in 1, earnings of our graduates, 2, quality of education, and 3, affordability. To learn more, we invite you to visit our campus or go online. ITI Technical College. Begin your journey to a better life.
Hello, this is JT with Livingston Tourism. I just want to encourage you to come out and see us. We're just east of Baton Rouge on Interstate 12. We have Bass Pro, beautiful hotels, RV parks. So if you're looking for just a weekend getaway, you can come see us. Or if you're just traveling, stop by. We have restaurants, shopping, antique district, Jubin Crossing, golf. Anything you want to do, we have it here in Livingston Parish. So come see us. For any of our events, you can visit us at livingstontourism.com or on social media.
Do you need to say great job, congratulations, or way to go? Crown Trophy on Sherwood Forest Boulevard in Baton Rouge has the trophy, plaque, acrylic, or crystal award you're looking for. Whether it's for your team, business, or church, come to Crown Trophy. We guarantee the highest level of customer service, and there's no charge for rush orders or trophy engraving. We're nationally known and locally owned. Visit us online to view our catalog at www.crowntrophy.com.
Tonight's Game Time Scholar Athlete is brought to you by Crown Trophy. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on Yurview.
Welcome back to Game Time on Yurview. John Curtis leading Landry Walker 14-6 from Berman Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuire. Tyrone Leggett, 2 touchdowns for the Patriots. Devontae Jason, the 5-star wide receiver prospect, with the TD catch for the Charging Bucks. For more of our halftime festivities, let's send it down to the field and Jessica Province. Jessica?
Well, Jeff, 2 wonderful football programs has to mean 2 wonderful high schools. That means teachers and students as well. I'm so happy to be joined now by our teachers and scholars from each high school. I'm going to start with John Curtis. I have Christine Pernichiero and Matthew Pernichiero. I don't know if this is the first time in our Game Time history that we have a mother-son duo, but I'm going to rock and roll with it. Congratulations to you both. Talk to me about what you teach at John Curtis.
I am actually a graduate of John Curtis, 1989. And I came back and teach 5th and 6th grade math at the lower school.
And how long have you been at the school?
About 20 years now teaching.
20 years teaching, including graduation. You have to know the campus back and forth.
I know very well, and it's great. I get to gotten to see kids grow up, and now they're sending their kids back to the school, and I'm starting to teach their kids. So it is a full circle. It's a blessing.
Now, how surprised were you when you found out that your son was receiving our Student of the Week?
It was very neat. I was thinking the same thing. What an honor for my kids to be able to go up through Curtis. He's been there since pre-K2. Wow. And to be able to do this with him is a great honor.
Wow. Now, Matthew, I hear you're a senior. Do you have any college plans?
I plan on going to ULL for computer engineering and computer science.
So what got you into that?
Excuse me?
What got you into computer science?
My dad owns a computer company, and so I plan on taking that over when I grow up.
How neat. They're going to keep it in the family. Let's switch gears now to our Landry Walker Teacher of the Week and our Student of the Week. I have Miss Colette Mayu and Haven Adams. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Tell me a little bit about what you teach at Landry Walker.
I'm a biology teacher at Landry Walker.
Very good. And you told me you had Heaven as a student of yours. What was that experience like?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear better.
The atmosphere is electric here, if you cannot tell. Yes. Landry Walker is a happening place to be.
Absolutely.
I said, tell me a little bit about Heaven and her experience in your classroom. What was she like as a student?
Always on point, always on time with her work, very wondering what is next. Always kept me on my toes as well, which I really look for in students because I want them to challenge me as well, and I learn from them too.
That is absolutely wonderful. Now, Heaven, what grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
And what do you plan on pursuing after high school?
I plan on going to a 4-year institution, studying law.
Very good. So you like to be a lawyer?
Probably a lawyer, maybe political science. I don't really know. I'm still weighing my decisions.
And tell me your favorite part of Landry Walker.
I just like the community. It's family.
A community and a family. And I tell you what, this place is electric. I tell you what, this environment, there's got to be nothing nothing like it. Coming up next, we'll break down these two powerhouse football teams between John Curtis and Landry Walker and give you our first half stats and highlights. You're watching Game Time on Yurview.
You can live the dream life right now at Suma Crossing Apartments in Livingston Parish. Imagine easy access to I-12 and living on a deep, clear lake where your family can fish, walk, or jog anytime. And there's also a crystal clear swimming pool. Your apartment is huge with granite countertops, state-of-the-art appliances, and closets, closets, closets. It's not a dream, it's real and waiting for you. Come see Suma Crossing, exit 19 on I-12.
Do you need to say great job, congratulations, or way to go? Crown Trophy on Sherwood Forest Boulevard in Baton Rouge has the trophy, plaque, acrylic, or crystal award you're looking for. Whether it's for your team, business, or church, come to Crown Trophy. We guarantee the highest level of customer service, and there's no charge for rush orders or trophy engraving. We're nationally known and locally owned. Visit us online to view our catalog at www.crowntrophy.com.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
This Game Time halftime segment is brought to you by Monogram Express. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation all fall long, only on Yurview.
Back on Game Time on Yurview, I'm Jeff Lerma along with Jason DeQuare. We're at Berman Stadium for the regular season opener for these two historic programs, John Curtis Patriots and the Landry Walker Charging Bucks, and John Curtis leading it 14-6. John Curtis has looked better offensively. I think both defenses have played well. I mean, heck, they've only given up one touchdown each so far.
Yeah, the real difference in this game is special teams. A missed extra point and giving up a big kickoff return. Other than that, you know, if you look at the two offenses, Landry Walker's offense is not in rhythm yet. John Curtis is, but you mentioned the defense for the Charging Bucks has stepped up and slowed that veer option down a little bit.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights, and it all started with John Curtis taking the opening possession and marching down the field and scoring a touchdown. Guggenheim was really impressive. There's the first of two touchdowns on the night for Leggett. And then Landry Walker just had trouble trying to get anything going offensively. Jay Curtis with the interception, one of two turnovers in the first half for Landry Walker. Eventually they get something going, and you go to Devontae Jason with the one-handed grab in the end zone with the defender draped all over him. Landry Walker, though, would have the extra point blocked. And so it was 7-6, and there's Leggett again. A great block in the middle, springs it to the outside, off to the races, and he beats the Charging Bucks down the other end of the field for the touchdown in a 14-6 lead. Let's take a look at our first half stats in this one. You'll see the offensive numbers not very impressive for either team. John Curtis, they have really been all over the two Landry Walker quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah, that's right, and Landry Walker's had to play two quarterbacks to get going. Not impressive stats, but, you know, this is a good game, and, you know, John Curtis has won the last two, and I think this one is slated to come down to the wire again.
When Landry Walker won the Class 5A state championship game a season ago, they did it with offensive fireworks, and even Emmanuel Powell admitted to us that they're going to have to win some games with their defense until they mature at the quarterback position. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the other big games around the country in high school football. Stay tuned. Game Time on Yurview.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College, and we are so excited to have been awarded Forbes magazine's top 30 two-year technical colleges in America. To achieve this award, ITI was recognized for our high scores in 1, earnings of our graduates, 2, quality of education, and 3, affordability. To learn more, we invite you to visit our campus or go online. ITI Technical College. Begin your journey to a better life.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the soccer star to the soccer mom. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from those who serve aces to those who serve others. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're a business looking to expand into Louisiana or Livingston Parish, we have a lot of advantages. We are now expanding our road system and infrastructure. We have a first-class mainline railroad. We're making more sites available to relocating businesses. If you're looking for a new location for your business, contact us at the LEDC. You can go to our website, www.ledc.net, or call our office at 225-686-3982.
Tonight's Game Time Top Games are brought to you by Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. From first-class golfing, endless waterways, and more, there's a lot to offer in Livingston Parish. Tomorrow's classics today, only on Yurview.
Back on Game Time on Yurview as John Curtis leading Landry Walker 14-6 is our halftime score. John Curtis scored on the opening drive of the night and a big return for a touchdown on a kickoff by Tyrone Leggett, the big difference in this ball game. Let's take a look at our national schedule on Yurview. Of course, tonight, what a great matchup. And here's a look at how the rest of the schedule will wrap up. So all these games are being shown on the various Cox Communication markets across the country. And of course, you can always watch the games on Yurview.com. That's YURVIEW.com. So we have a couple more here in Louisiana. Thursday, October 5th, Edna Carr versus McDonough 35, which should be a terrific matchup. McDonough 35, some think maybe this could be the year they get to the state championship game. And then we got a really interesting matchup on October 26th with Walker versus Live Oak, two teams from Livingston Parish, a great district rivalry. And Live Oak, a team that has aspirations of going deep in the 5A playoffs. We'll take another break. When we come back, kickoff between Curtis and Landry Walker as we'll begin the second half. Stay tuned for more Game Time on Yurview after this.
Louisiana's best barbecue is Podna's, smoked to perfection for fall off the bone good eating. Podna's Labor Day spread features ribs, chicken, pork, and 2 sides for only $24.95. That's right, feed 3 to 5 people for only $24.85. Available now through September 5th. Podna's, fast service for dine-in or drive-through, world-famous baked beans, and party pack headquarters. Remember the brand, Podna's. 2 locations, Florida, Don Moore, and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Hello, this is JT with Livingston Tourism. I just want to encourage you to come out and see us. We're just east of Baton Rouge on Interstate 12. We have Bass Pro, beautiful hotels, RV parks. So if you're looking for just a weekend getaway, you can come see us. Or if you're just traveling, stop by. We have restaurants, shopping, antique district, Jubin Crossing, golf. Anything you want to do, we have it here in Livingston Parish. So come see us. For any of our events, you can visit us at livingstontourism.com or on social media.
Game Time on Yurview is brought to you by Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. From first-class golfing, endless waterways, and more, there's a lot to offer in Livingston Parish. Monogram Express Embroidery and Gift, your one-stop embroidery shop where we make the ordinary extraordinary. And by Louisiana Lift and Equipment, serving the equipment, service, and rental needs of businesses across Louisiana since 1980.
Moments away before the second half kicks off on Game Time on Yurview. Earlier tonight, we saw a great touchdown catch by Devontae Jason, the 5-star wide receiver for Landry Walker. Let's find out more about the senior who's currently committed to the University of Kansas.
And there's pushing and shoving, and there's a completion, and into the end zone for a touchdown is
Devontae Jason, senior, Landry Walker, wide receiver. I'm the lead on the offense, also a team captain of the team. And to lead, you have to be a man of character. And that's one thing people look at me of, just of my character, you know.
More pressure.
Well, my style is really, really a deep ball threat, you know, just attacking and go get it, you know, a savage mindset.
Devontae Jason. He's got 3 touchdown grabs.
You know, it's fun to have that chemistry that you have with your teammates, you know, just going on our 4 years, somehow 4 years together, each other a lot, you know, the attributes from each other. We practiced the whole summer, got it in, grind, you know, try to get better as a whole, because, you know, it's not an individual game, it's a game of a team. That summer practice made a lot of us better. And my junior year, going all the way, you know, winning it, going to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, that's big, that's a big stage. We look forward to a back-to-back season. I mean, we're trying to win another ring. And the support we had last year was just crazy. God blessed me with 30 Division I offers, you know, and I mean, you only go to one at the end of the day. So right now I'm committed to Kansas. But, you know, I still keep open mindset and open head to other schools and other programs what they have to offer. It's a happy moment for me. But at the end of the day, I'm still trying to be a better man, you know, outside of football. So I do want to play in the NFL one day. And I also want education, a good education for after football, life after football. The person I am and my potentials that I have, you know, to be one of the best. And I take that and run with it. I take pride in what I do. And I'm just trying to make my mama proud at the end of the day.
Oh, what a one-handed grab. Devontae Jason's had a nice start to the 2017 season. A couple of catches, 23 yards, and a touchdown, a great grab, a one-handed grab in the end zone in the second quarter. And he's going to look to have a big second half to help Landry Walker defeat John Curtis. 3rd straight year that these two teams have met to begin the season. John Curtis has won the 2 previous matchups. As you see, he's committed to Kansas. There are several players on this Landry Walker team that are committed to Kansas. A big reason why Tony Hall, who is the former head coach at Warren Easton, is now an assistant coach at Kansas. And there's a strong connection, and you see this a lot. We saw this with Frank Wilson, former LSU coach. When you have a lot of these coaches that leave New Orleans, head off to a college place, there's a strong connection, even if they didn't play or are not playing for the school that former coach played or coached at. It's all about New Orleans here in Louisiana, and so there's a strong connection there. Now, whether Devontae Jason or Corian Harris, if those guys end up at Kansas, we'll have to wait and see. But Jason is going to graduate in December, so he will be an early enrollee, and he'll make his decision well before the February National Signing Day. Set to begin the second half from Berman Stadium. Jeff Lermo, Jason DeQuare, and Jessica Province down on the sidelines. This ball will be returned from the 16-yard line, and we get it up to the 26-yard line, and that's where Landry Walker will start off after the return of just 4 yards. Want to thank Louisiana Lift, LALift.com, as they always help us get our cameras up in the air. And LALift.com, if there's a need for you to get up in the air, they can get you there. First down and 10 at the 26-yard line. Jaquan Dorsey back in at quarterback again, taking snaps underneath Centerdo. And Alexander right up the middle. Some shifty moves, gives him a few yards. Cade Belloso on the tackle. And he's had a big impact for a guy that really didn't play at all last season. In fact, didn't play one bit. 5-yard run for Alexander.
It's interesting, they come back out with Dorsey. Cargo had a lot of the success, but maybe they've kind of, calmed him down a little bit at the half and had to talk to him.
Fumbled snap, and that has been a problem. Didn't look like the center snapped that ball in time. It seemed like Curtis was firing off the ball quicker on that, and all of a sudden it's third down on this opening drive of the second half for the Charging Bucks.
Well, and that's a few times tonight that they have not been crisp, either on the shotgun snap or just taking it from under the center, and I'm sure that's something that Coach Powell emphasized, and that's where it starts. It starts with that snap, and if you don't get in a good rhythm there, then it really destroys the rhythm of the rest of the play.
Been a tough go for Dorsey so far in this game, but let's see if he can make a play on third down. Quick throw and incomplete. Never really gave his receiver, Jerry Henry, a chance to catch the ball, and it's 3 and out for the Charging Bucks.
Yeah, and still not another good series for Dorsey, and really had his guy there, Jerry Henry, on the slant, and just missed him, and it's going to force the Bucks with an early punt.
Emmanuel Powell wondering when this offense will get into gear. He just very difficult against a great John Curtis defense. Jason will throw on the fake punt. They need to get to the 30, and they do. First down. What a gutsy play there for Emmanuel Powell. Devontae Jason just shoveled that pass out to his receiver.
Really close here, too, and you're right. What a heck of a call. This was designed. The up man just comes right out in the flat and makes a catch, and really had a chance to contain him, but able to break a tackle, and you can see where that knee goes down. It is very close to that first down marker, but I tell you what, really caught John Curtis off guard there. What a gutsy call there by Coach Powell.
Taiwan Francis on the reception, so Devontae Jason has 2 catches, and now he's completed a pass. Dorsey remains the quarterback. Dorsey on a busted play will just run with it, and Dorsey spins his way up to the 48-yard line, but there is a flag down back at the 36.
Yeah, they're going to catch him with a hold here, but again, the snap ends up on the ground before Dorsey can even get the ball, and they've just got to clean that up. You know, it's time and time again, and then on top of that, the holding call.
Holding, 72 offense, 10 yards, first down.
Holding is the penalty. So now back to the 27 goes Landry Walker. Landry Walker played John Curtis in the state championship game in 2003. Emmanuel Powell was a defensive backs coach back then. His offensive coordinator, John Johnson. As we see Dorsey slide down at the 37. Of course, that was O.P. Walker back then when they played Curtis in the 2003 Dome. But John Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Bucks, was the quarterback for O.P. Walker and is now the offensive coordinator for Landry Walker.
Well, you've got a lot of people from coaching staff down to players that really want to get this win, and John Curtis has kind of been their nemesis for a while. You can see there Jaquan Dorsey getting his instructions, and you know, you look at this Landry Walker team and you say, okay, they're returning 16 of 17 starters. You think this is a veteran club. You know, they should look better on offense, but at the end of the day, when you lose Keaton Thompson and Tevin Bush, they're winning 80% of your offense, and now you're relying on some other guys to get into rhythm here.
And you don't have someone at the quarterback position that has taken a firm grasp of that position, and you're rotating a couple guys in. Really a sloppy start to the second half. A lot of whistles, a lot of flags. We saw a fake punt. That was great. I think they're trying to figure out whether it's second down or third down or.
Yeah, it's been a lot of chaos in the start of the second half here.
So it is second down and about 6 from the 31-yard line. Dorsey will get underneath center. Curtis brings the pressure. Dorsey under it. Flips it out to Chad Alexander. Alexander gets from one tackler, gets away from a second one. Alexander in the open field all the way up to the 43-yard line.
Well, it's not how they drew it up, but just, oh no, and you can see Alexander
limping
coming
off the field.
And that's going to be Wow, I know they're going to tend to him quickly, and yeah, I was about to say, just get it into number 4's hands any way that you can, and obviously pressure there on Dorsey, able to shovel it out there to Alexander and scamper down there for a big pickup and another first down.
Goes down as a 26-yard pass completion, as Dorsey just did enough and saw number 4 out there to hand the ball off to. So new ball carrier in the game for Landry Walker. And that is Leonard Welch, who got shut down right there at the line of scrimmage. Angelo Anderson, another sophomore defensive lineman. Boy, they got 2 big sophomore defensive linemen there for John Curtis. Anderson and Drake Brantley, and both of them have had a huge impact in this game.
See him working on Alexander down on the sideline, and
streaking water.
Hopefully just a cramp there, and you can see the way he's got it in that position. Typically, that's a cramp. They're trying to get fluids, but you know, you got to do that a couple nights before.
Another fumbled snap, and the Patriots recover. 3rd turnover of the night for the Landry Walker offense. Falling on the loose football for the Patriots was Chauncey Crum.
Well, you would think one of the most basic positions in the game, you know, just getting the snap in the ball and getting it to your quarterback, you would have that down. But you can see here another bobbled snap, and the timing is just off there. That was a good camera work, a good chance to look at it. But, you know, the snap got back there, but then the timing between the center and the quarterback is off, dislodging the football. And yeah, that's been too many times tonight.
Ball at the 44 for the Patriots, and running the football is Wells for about 3 or 4 yards. So 3 turnovers for Landry Walker offensively in this game. Plus, they've given up a touchdown on a kickoff. Not a good recipe to beat one of the top teams in the country.
No, and that's such a fundamental aspect of the game. And, you know, having that center exchange be a problem, and that's really hurt them getting into the rhythm of their offense.
Well, they've tried the shotgun snap, and they've tried the traditional snap where the quarterback goes underneath the center, and both have been issues so far in this game. 2nd down and 8. Hard run off the left side. Let's take a look at the snaps here. It looks like the center is hitting the quarterback. Yeah, on his knee. The quarterback looks like the snap is good. It's just not a good job by Dorsey to receive the snap.
Well, he's kind of coming back out of his stance, and the quarterback's not having the opportunity to get it from under the butt and get it out of there before he comes back, and it's dislodging the football.
3rd and 6. Guggenheim keeps, and he got tripped up. I think that was Tyreek Baker who came knifing through there to stop him shy of the first down after a gain of 2.
Well, and this is John Curtis football. I mean, it's not going to be flashy and sexy, but he gets the job done. They play good defense. They methodical on offense. They've been running this veer option forever at John Curtis, and you know, this is the type of game they want. They want it to slow down, have a touchdown 2 lead, and you know, just kind of hang in there.
But they have forced 3 turnovers, and in none of those occasions, oh, and there's a high snap on a punt. Nothing to do there for Brock Onestell, and Landry Walker is in business. Wow.
Well, first big mistake here by Curtis, and this one is really going to cost them, because now Landry Walker's going to have the football about at the 12-yard line, and yeah, they had a high snap, couldn't get what you need. Yeah, it just sails over the punter's head. I mean, no chance. And that thing comes out. Now, remember, the deep snapper was injured earlier, and I'm wondering if Englander was back in the game and handled that snap, or if it was a new snapper. So, you know, that again could have caused some of the confusion there with the snap.
Loss of 37 yards on the play. And Landry Walker will start this offensive drive at the 13-yard line. Hydration timeout. 14-6, John Curtis leading Landry Walker, but the Charging Bucks are knocking on the door. More Game Time on Yurview after this.
Tonight's Game Time delivery of the game is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow-cooked, fall-off-the-bone perfection and the best baked beans in America.
Louisiana's best barbecue is Podna's, smoked to perfection for fall-off-the-bone good eating. Podna's Labor Day spread features ribs, chicken, pork, and 2 sides for only $24.95. That's right, feed 3 to 5 people for only $24.85. Available now through September 5th. Podna's, fast service for dine-in or drive-through, world-famous baked beans, and party pack headquarters. Remember the brand, Podna's. 2 locations, Florida, Don Moore, and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Touchdown, Landry Walker. What a great play. As Johnny Anderson grabbed it in the end zone. It was a bit of a scramble, but they were able to throw that one right into Johnny Anderson, whip the score, and it's a 2-point game.
And they switch quarterbacks again. So they get down in the red zone, and they go with Cargo, and you can see he's in the game, the taller quarterback. And really, Johnny Anderson, that kind of delayed route across the middle there. Johnny Anderson with a great catch. That ball was thrown very well away from the defender. And just like that, Landry Walker strikes off of a, not a turnover, but a really bad snap by John Curtis, giving Landry Walker field position right around the 12-yard line.
Well, I would think Landry Walker will go for 2 right now. And Chad Alexander is back into the ball game for the Charging Bucks.
Normally I would say it's too early to go for 2, but when you have trouble making extra points, it's probably a higher percentage play anyway.
Cargo will take the snap, and he fumbled it, and he's going to get thrown down as they are not able to convert on the 2-point conversion. He was roughed up on the play by Colby Orgeron. So the Patriots keep a lead. It's a 2-point lead at the moment.
Well, let me take it back. When you can't snap the football, maybe it's not a higher percentage play. But here goes the touchdown, I believe. And you see Cargo scrambling out into the flats and then coming across there late. Johnny Anderson with a great catch and getting them up on the board. But again, man, the snap and center exchange is really the Achilles heel right now of Landry Walker. Again, you wouldn't think such a fundamental aspect, would give them the problems that they're having.
I have a feeling, Jason, that they run most of their practices in shotgun formation, but they've had so much trouble with that tonight that they don't really practice the snap with the quarterback having his hands underneath the center.
Well, I agree with you. But look, if that's what you are, a shotgun team, and you're now trying to go under center and that's not working for you, one of these centers needs to be on the track right now practicing snaps. That's what I would have them doing. You get over there, y'all get the timing down and snap the football correctly. I mean, you can't change your entire offense and what you do because of that, and the under center exchange isn't working either.
Brian Henry's kick is a short one to the 16-yard line. And up to the 24-yard line on the return, as it was brought back by Corey Wren. And on the stop for Landry Walker was Damon Johnson.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about a game of momentum changes. It's been one big play after another, and outside of the kickoff returns and the bad snap, it's really been more of a methodical game here.
1st and 10 at the 29, Guggenheim will hand it off, and look at this Landry Walker defense, a little tenacious at this moment, but Wells able to turn the corner And even though he got popped out of bounds by Johnson, he picks up the first down. I thought Wells was going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage, but his strength able to get away from the initial tackler, and he gets 16 yards on the carry.
Well, here you see the senior, really stout-built guy and showing off his speed, and Ken Turner, look, I mean, you talk about two players just giving it up.
Another nice run here by Malik Wells up to the 41-yard line. Or check that, that was Ernest Jones on the carry. And another Patriots first down. And for this Patriots offense now going to run a little up-tempo as they may have Landry Walker on their heels. That time he was stopped, the ball carrier was, as Tywan Francis got there and got Jones, hit him right at the line of scrimmage, who fell forward for a couple of yards.
Yeah, and John Curtis had become a little lethargic on offense, and you can see maybe sometimes just picking up the tempo a little bit, and they had good field position, so it's a good place for John Curtis to pick up the tempo, and they're really starting to use Ernest Jones some, one of the smaller backs, but, you know, he's going to fill in for some of these carries since Marquise Albert, one of their featured running backs, is out tonight.
Smith is in the backfield, and Smith will get a carry, but will go nowhere. Kevin Smith swallowed him up and spit him out.
Well, that's that defensive front again. We've talked about it all night for Landry Walker. That's where some of their big playmakers are, and Coach Powell thinks again that this is one of the best fronts that they've had in a long time, and you can see Iman Smith shaking his head there, really getting in there and saying, hey, you're not gonna, you can't block me, and you sure can't run through me, and that's a big time play, and he's one of those highly recruited players on that defensive front.
Third down and 12. JT Curtis said that the offensive line needs to play well tonight. Curtis has had their moments on that O-line, but this is a very difficult assignment to begin the 2017 season, going up against this front seven, and now we have a stoppage in play before this third down play.
And this is not going to be the Patriots' comfort zone. Again, you're looking at 3rd and long, and you know, my guess is that they have to put this ball up in the air. They have not thrown a whole bunch tonight, but, you know, what they're facing here, they've got decent field position. You know, again, their two guys are going to be Leggett and Beal, and probably will be looking for either one of those.
3rd and 12. They have thrown 5 times in this game. Leggett has caught a touchdown pass, 2 completions. One went to Beal on the first play of the game, and then the other was the touchdown catch by Leggett to wrap up that first drive of the night.
And Leggett wide to your left, your far top of the screen. Changing the play here at the line of scrimmage.
Guggenheim over the middle. It's caught, but shy of the first down.
Well, I was wondering if he caught that ball, but, you know, Glenn Beal is such a big body. I mean, he's your prototypical tight end. It's good to feature a tight end in high school football. It's almost a lost art, but you can see him. I mean, you know, he looks like the Vernon Davis type, and, you know, such a big target. He really boxed that defender out and was able to make that catch, and it's going to be 4th and short, and, of course, they're going to look at going for this.
Beal had 8 catches last year, but Coach Curtis had said that he's been really catching the ball well in the preseason. 4th down and 3. Curtis up by 2. They go for it. Hard run off the left side, and this is going to go for 6. Touchdown, Patriots. Ernest Jones.
The littler of the backs, Ernest Jones, a lot of speed, and probably wouldn't be getting as many carries if Albert was healthy. But here he's making his impact, and really just kind of a dive there, and got slipped under the penetration of the Landry Walker front line. And once he did that, and you know, the Bucks kind of had a blitz coming on there, trying to get in those gaps, and really just snuck under those defensive tackles and able to get in the open field.
Cade Blaylock with the great block on the left side, the left tackle for the Patriots, number 73, and that sprung Jones for the 33-yard touchdown run. Well, that quieted the Landry Walker side. That was a big touchdown there for John Curtis. And now they'll go for the extra point here. Snap down, kick is up. And It is now a 21-12 lead. Curtis leading Landry Walker. That extra point is big, Jason. Makes it a 2-possession game. And a huge touchdown run for the 5'8" ball carrier, Ernest Jones.
Wow, it's just been a game of momentum changes. You know, right when you think Landry Walker's willing their way back in this game, and they give up some big plays here. And that was a big play there by Ernest Jones. You had the John Curtis offense essentially bottled up. You know, big completion to Beal across the middle, brought up a 4th and short, and Ernest Jones able to get it into the end zone.
Let's send it down to the field, and Jessica.
Well, Jeff, there are many things that set this John Curtis program apart from others, but one of the more intimate things might be Legacy Patriots. That's 4 guys on the team that Coach J.T. Curtis coached their father. Now, we mentioned Jay Curtis, his grandson, Como, Guggenheim, and Romano. Coach Curtis says it's really neat to be a part of, but the only disadvantage is that some of the dads are sitting in the stands and know when they make mistakes and fumble on their plays. Guys?
Yeah, they know the plays. I mean, they've been running the same offense here for
pre-K
for 4 decades, so all the dads know how their son is supposed to perform out in the field, and if they don't run the right play, well, they're going to hear about it after the game.
No, that's right. It's a system here, and you know, once you're born into the John Curtis family, I mean, that's what they do, and they start teaching football from the womb, and you know, you get a lot of these players coming back, and not only that, it's a great atmosphere. It's a good school.
Here's the kick. Good end-over-end kick, but it's sailing towards out of bounds, but it does not. Gets it to the end zone. No other school in the country has more state championships in football than John Curtis. We had a chance to take a look at their trophy case. That's what it looks like.
Is that all their sports? just football.
That's just football.
Wow, 26 of them?
26 of them.
Unbelievable. You talk about a dynasty, and they sure have built one here.
J.T. Curtis over 560 victories. But it's been a little bit of a drought, as we mentioned. The senior class does not own a ring. You got to go back to 1975, the last time they've had a drought this long where they did not win a state championship over a 3-year period. And there's a flag that flies, and you know, Coach Curtis gets a bad rap because he wins so much, and they think, well, what's going on? Is there something going on? That, you know, but I tell you what, man, he's one of the best guys that you'll ever meet, and he has shaped and molded so many young men into great professionals and fathers and now grandfathers. And he's meant a lot to this New Orleans area, and he's one of a kind. He's a legend for sure. Landry Walker trying to get that passing game going.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another hold and probably back them up even more. You know, this offense right now is just sputtering and going backwards here. You mentioned it, Jeff. Keaton Thomas, when you lose a guy like that, player of the year, counted for 5,000 yards, 70 touchdowns. Try filling those shoes.
Yeah, they've just been on a sync tonight. And what you were hoping you could kind of rely on this offensive line, right? Because they returned all the starters from last year's offensive line. And I don't think they've played a great game either. I mean, we've had the bad snaps. You get a couple holding penalties. Not a lot of room for Chad Alexander to run. Part of it's the Patriots defense, but they haven't had a great night either. Everything's just off right now for Landry Walker. Good tackle there at the line of scrimmage as Colby Orgeron takes down Alexander after a gain of 2.
Well, and you're right, but you know, with this offensive line, they don't ask them to hold their blocks a whole bunch unless they're running. The real problem here has been the center exchange and getting the ball out. All you got, I mean, you got Devontae, Jason, you got Jerry out there on the corner. You got all kind of skilled players. You just got to get the ball out into their hands, and they're just struggling doing that.
Second down and a long way to go. And here's Alexander. Almost had some open field, but a great open field tackle by Chauncey Crum, bringing Alexander down after a gain of 2, and Crum has played really well. He's made some nice tackles tonight. Chad Alexander, 8 touchdowns last year, nearly 600 yards rushing. Just an explosive player.
Yeah, now as we wind down this third quarter, they're in a third and forever situation backed up. It's going to be a real, see if they keep it safe or going to be willing to challenge some of these Curtis defensive backs.
Cargo and company need to get to the 30-yard line. Throw over the middle, and it's almost intercepted.
Wow, what a gift.
Donald Clay could not hold on to it, and he's one of the best defensive backs in the state as a junior, and he had one gifted to him.
Yeah, I think his eyes got big. Few choice words there, but again, you know, this ball didn't have a chance. I mean, it didn't even have a chance. You know, receivers weren't communicating. It looked like a fly route, and he thought he was going to stop, but no chance there. And Donald Clay really dropped a gift, and that would have been another 6 for the Patriots.
It's kind of like in pregame warm-ups when the defensive backs coach has the DBs move left, move right, and they just kind of loft one up to them so they can intercept it. That's what that was like. Jason punting from his own end zone. And on the return is Ernest Jones, who scored the touchdown a few moments ago. He gets hit hard along the Patriots' sidelines as he gets 8 yards on the carry. And for this game and all of our games that you'll see here on Yurview, you can always go to yurview.com/football and you can get highlights and stories, recruiting news. And you can watch the game live as it happens. That's yurview.com/football. 1st and 10 at the 38. The Patriots now can really put this game out of reach. Already up by 9 with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Another hard run off the right side. This is Washington to the 20. Still on his feet. Carries the tackler all the way up to the 4-yard line.
Well, and this is a function, too, of the Bucs defense just being on the field almost the entire third quarter. And John Curtis, as you mentioned, they throw a bevy of backs. It's been Jones, it's been Wells, and now Darian Washington says, I want some of this action here. And you can see running out of that veer option, straight dive, that offensive line is getting its rhythm, and Darian Washington there doing the rest, not wanting to go down. And, you know, when you get your chance as a running back in this system, you want to make the most of it, and he sure did.
34 yards on the carry. Patriots knocking on the door once again. Guggenheim keeps it. Touchdown. Touchdown, John Curtis.
And Guggenheim says, I can run too, and I want mine. And, you know, really just that Bucs defense, I think that front line is a little demoralized, tired. The offense hasn't been able to get anything going. And this is exactly where Curtis will typically capitalize. And they sure did on that drive when they got the ball back. You can see Guggenheim kind of giving that little fist pump, and, you know, he's feeling it. This Curtis team is feeling it. You know, just a little veer option here to the left side, and good blocks there. Glenn Beal can sure throw a block. He did there on the end, closed off that end, and Guggenheimer walks into the end zone.
And another great seal block, too, by Cade Blaylock, who allowed Ernest Jones to score the other touchdown in this quarter. All right, John Curtis here will go for 2. This would make it a 3-possession game if they can score. And they are unable to. Kevin Smith wrapped up the ball carrier as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, and Wells unable to get there. So 15-point lead for John Curtis with 36 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And that Landry Walker defense will try to get a little oxygen, try to get a little water, and hope the offense can have a sustained drive to get them back into this football game.
Yeah, they've got to figure out a way to get rhythm. And, you know, one of the guys that we haven't mentioned tonight much is Corian Harris.
Yeah.
and Coach Powell says if it gets bad enough, I'll put Corian Harris in the Wildcat, and he's played quarterback before. So I don't know if we're there yet, but they've got to figure out something here quickly.
Well, every Thursday night on Yurview, we have a national game that is shown in all of the Cox markets. So next week, it's going to be the Jinx Trojans versus the Union Redskins. And you can catch all the action here on Yurview. And again, also online at yurview.com. Tomorrow, locally in Louisiana on Yurview LA, we'll have the Central Wildcats and the Dunham Tigers tomorrow. And our coverage will begin at 6:30 and kick off at 7 o'clock from, not from Dunham High School, but from Dunham Stadium, as they play off campus nearby Dunham High School. Onstell's kick, high, taken at the 8-yard line. Francis around the 20, still on his feet, cuts back to the 30, to the midfield, and all the way up to the 44-yard line. But
there's a flag.
It could be coming back as there's a flag down at the 25-yard line.
I tell you what, Tywin Francis is such an exciting runner. I know he plays defense, but you know he's got a future as a return guy as well. But
10 yards, spotted a foul, first down.
You know the Bucks here have just really been kicking themselves. They've been hurting themselves offensively and hurting themselves on special teams. And you know when you're playing a football team this good as the Patriots, you can't have these mistakes. And you add insult to injury, offense that's struggling. Instead of starting out by the 40, 50-yard line, you're now going to have to start back up to your 11-yard line.
In the quarterback this series for Landry Walker is Jaquan Dorsey. Alexander to his right. Dorsey over the middle, and the fastball is off the hands of Jason.
Yeah, he's just off. At that time, good snap, good exchange, and just missed Jason on the slant route. Just had that ball thrown a little too low, and you know, just not his night tonight. It's not going well.
Well, Coach Powell had told us that if Dorsey can mature fast, will help this Landry Walker team go really far this season. And the biggest thing he just needs is experience. Second down and 10. Dorsey gets away from one. There's going to be a face mask penalty. Dumps it off to Jason, who drops it.
Yeah, he got Dorsey's face mask as he was scrambling, and you know this should give Landry Walker a little breathing room. But and you mentioned it earlier, Dorsey's inexperienced, but let's see if we can catch the face mask here. You're going to see it as he slips out the left side, a brush of the face mask. Well, that's more than a brush when your neck gets turned around. But you mentioned it, Jeff. I mean, he's inexperienced, but when you talk to Dorsey, he actually got to play a little bit. He got to play some during the regular season. He played some in playoffs. He even played a little bit in the state championship game. Now granted, that's mop-up duty. That's not running the team. And, you know, and he realizes that, you know, he's going to have to mature and mold himself into this offense.
Look at the rush yards this quarter. Look, John Curtis really handing it to Landry Walker. Cargo back in at quarterback. Hand off to Alexander. He is so fun to watch as he gets up to the 36-yard line. Another stop for Chauncey Crump. Gain of 8 for Alexander, and that is the final play of the third quarter. A third quarter dominated by John Curtis as they laid it 27-12 over Landry Walker. Fourth quarter action coming up. Stay tuned for more Game Time on Yurview after this break.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue-collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
Game Time on Yurview is brought to you by Livingston Parish President Leighton Ricks. Livingston Parish, one of the fastest growing parishes in Louisiana, with vast opportunities for families to grow and flourish. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and more. Real service, real people. ITI Technical College, your key to a better life.
We begin the fourth quarter with John Curtis in control over Landry Walker, the defending 5A champs, the Charging Bucks, but it's been a tough night for them offensively. Facing 2nd down and 2 here. They run the draw. Alexander gets away from 2 defenders and then burst into Patriots territory across the 30 to the 28-yard line. I don't know if we'll see a better running back in the state of Louisiana this season. I mean, this Chad Alexander is putting on a show. Cade Como finally got him to get to the ground.
We talk about people's stock increasing, and I'll tell you what, Alexander's stock is going through the roof. Just a junior, not a big tall kid, but as quick as a cat, and got this burst that's out of the world here. And tough to bring down. You can see there all the good features of a running back and great vision too. And I tell you what, he's really been the offense here for Landry Walker.
35-yard run, and Landry Walker has to call a timeout. Alexander needs a little water. Again, he left earlier in the second half because of the cramping issues, but look at the numbers for Chad Alexander. Over 100 yards tonight.
I'd get him anything he wants, Jeff. Water, massage.
And he might need to rush for 200 yards here tonight if Landry Walker's going to come back and win this game.
Yeah, ordinarily I would say that. And you know, he might get to the 200-yard mark, but eventually, you know, the game's going to begin to wind down to behind a couple of scores. And you're not going to get it all back by just keeping it on the ground. But with this guy, I don't know, he's impressive.
What a tough start to the season for John Curtis as they're facing the defending 5A state champions. Look at the rest of the schedule here for the Patriots. In fact, their first 3 games are against defending state champions. Next week, they go up to Shreveport to play Grayson, who's the defending champion in the state of Georgia. And then they face the Parkview Baptist Eagles the following week. And then into district play when they take on Brother Martin. The Curtis Rummel game on Friday, October 27th. A lot of people have that game circled. After Rummel beat Curtis a couple of years ago, I don't know what that is. It's an incomplete pass, thankfully for Landry Walker. But Torrey Cargo just needs to eat that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're wondering if it was 4th down.
Or was that Dorsey who threw it?
Yeah, no, I think it was Cargo. I think because of that, they pulled him. Yeah, that's Cargo. Yeah, they pulled him, and he flips it forward with the right hand. You know, I mean, you got to wonder what's going through the mind. If it's 4th down and you're trying to make a play, maybe so, but not on 2nd down.
That only works for Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and guys like that. Yeah. 2nd down and 10. Dorsey in the game, gets away from the pressure, and just throws one up and out of bounds towards the track. There were 3 white jerseys around Devontae Jason, like you would expect.
Well,
they've been getting a lot of pressure on Dorsey all game long, Jason.
Yeah, they have. You know, but he's scrambling. He's got an opportunity. I know he's kind of out of his comfort zone. The reason is, you know, they're not getting that first option off, and credit the Curtis defensive backs, but, you know, they really want to hit their first or second. Once they're past their second read, you know, it's then the quarterback scrambling. You got a younger quarterback, not as mature, not sure where to go for the football, and it results in these types of plays.
3rd and 10, and movement on the left side.
Yeah, that was big Calvin LeGrone, left tackle, number 72.
He is committed to play at Northern Iowa. Been a tough night for Emmanuel Powell and his offense.
Yeah. And, you know, on this series, Jeff, I mean, you have that great run by Alexander. And, you know, I was saying, hey, you may not be able to run yourself back into this game, but I don't know that I would have abandoned the run that fast. I mean, you have Alexander, he gets you down the field, and then the next 2 plays are passing plays. You know, you still had time to keep feeding Alexander.
3rd and 15, he might get the ball here. Whistles.
Delay.
Now they're going to call a delayed game on Landry Walker. And the coaching staff is, wait a minute.
They got it.
Wow.
The coaching staff thinks that the clock was never set.
Well, here you gotta locate number 3. I mean, you just got to give him a chance, Devontae Jason, to go up and make a play. He's in the slot. Now, obviously, John Curtis has a man over top. They've been watching him all night.
Dorsey throws, and the pass too high for the receiver, as they were looking to get the ball to Johnny Anderson.
And I think they're going to end up going for this, Jeff. I really do.
Well, let's see. It looks like the offense is coming off the field. No, maybe not. You're right.
Yeah, again, they're playing one over the top of Devontae. You're probably sitting at home thinking, look, you got this all-world wide receiver. He's making Beckham-style catches. And why aren't you going to him? Well, you see the first guy probably in your screen on Devontae Jason, but they've got a nickel and a safety sitting over the top, and so it really makes it hard to get the ball into him. And there he is. You see a good look at him.
Dorsey under pressure again, spins away, can't get away from the second one, and he fumbles the ball. Patriots have it at his 4 turnovers on the night.
Wow.
Getting his hands on the ball for John Curtis, Joshua Valentine, a junior outside linebacker. And Dorsey has fumbled the ball a couple of times in this one.
Well, and again, you know, look, I'm not trying to cast all the blame here, but you got to understand the situation. And John Curtis is putting pressure, and they know that they're bringing pressure on a first-year starter. But at the end of the day, it's 4th down. You've got to get the ball out of your hands. You've got to get it down the field, and at least throw the ball so that one of your playmakers has a chance to make a play.
Cade Belloso stripped the football. And it's now 1st and 10, and John Curtis's offense goes to work with Malik Wells, who is stopped after a gain of a yard. A bunch of black jerseys there to finally wrestle him down to the ground. Ernest Simon, one of the defenders there.
Yeah, and I'll be shocked if I see the Patriots put the ball up on this series. You know, up a couple of scores, grinding on that clock. This is the position they love to be in. Here you can see John Curtis, JT Curtis, the coach, coaching up his running back there, Wells, on the play. But you know, they're going to be very slow coming in and out of the huddle and just try to grind the clock down.
2nd and 9 at the 43. Guggenheim gives the ball this time to a new ball carrier that's entered the ball again. It's Corey Wren again. Corey Wren, a sophomore, and Coach Curtis told us, man, this guy's fast. He's a sophomore. No one really knows about him, and they're going to look to try to get him involved every now and then. He got 8 yards on the carry there.
Yeah, one of the younger players bringing him along in a game like this against good competition, giving him a chance. We've seen him as a returner, and there you get to see him as a running back. And, you know, as the season progresses, probably will get more carries, and next year he'll probably be featured in that stable of running backs.
3rd and 2 with the ball right at the 50-yard line. Guggenheim keeps it. And there's a 1st down for the sophomore quarterback, who's really had a nice night, a 9-yard carry there. He's thrown a touchdown pass. He ran for one. And one of the bigger plays of the game happened in that first drive of the night on 3rd and long, where he took off and ran 30-plus yards for a 1st down.
Well, as I mentioned, you know, he was injured most of the preseason, got to play last week in the Jamboree, and talking to Coach Curtis, they're bringing him along nicely. And, you know, they just need a quarterback in this system that's going to function, make the right reads, and can run the ball, and he's doing all of those.
Hard run up the middle, flag down as Washington went right through the teeth of that Landry Walker defense. But looks like a penalty for John Curtis. I would imagine both teams in double digits penalties tonight.
Yes. 10 yards. Repeat first down. 75.
I would say in the number of flags and the number of yards.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been sloppy. It's the first week of the season, but you know, you would expect these two.
Well, you also have to remember as well a little distraction with Tropical Storm Harvey. School closed in the New Orleans area on Tuesday over the threat of some bad weather, so you had that distraction to deal with as well. One less day to prepare for this Thursday night game than you traditionally have, even though you didn't play last week. You did have a jamboree last Friday. Guggenheim and the Patriots call timeout. Under 9 minutes to go, and John Curtis leading at 27-12 over Landry Walker. Stay tuned for more Game Time on Yurview after this.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
You can live the dream life right now at Suma Crossing Apartments in Livingston Parish. Imagine luxurious and affordable living where it is safe and the school systems are awesome. A quiet community with a private, well-stocked lake and a cool, relaxing swimming pool. Easy access for Baton Rouge commuters or students at Southeastern. It's not a dream, it's real and waiting for you. Come see Suma Crossing, exit 19 on I-12.
Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuire, and Jessica Province as we are back on Game Time on Yurview. John Curtis is going to throw at Guggenheim, rolling out, lofts one up, downfield, some pushing, and there's a flag.
Well, they're going to get him. I'm trying to catch a number there. That's a Damon Johnson, number 13. And
he thinks it's going to be on Glenn Beal, the tight end for the Patriots.
Well, let's see here. I didn't know if Damon Johnson had gotten his head turned around. And Glenn Beal, such a big target. He reminds me of Vernon Davis. I have to tell you, just stretching the field like that. Somebody 255, running getting down the field like that is just impressive.
Pass interference, number 15.
It was.
15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Damon Johnson walked away saying he pushed off. And so let's see if we can see where they get tangled up here. And no, he did get his head turned around, and may have been before the camera got over there, maybe a push as they were turning there down low. A lot of times when you're the bigger receiver, you'll kind of try to push them down low, and then you can jump up on top of them.
They run to draw. This is Washington. Washington up to the 39-yard line. Tywan Francis there again. Gain of 5.
Well, this is when this Charging Bucks defense really just has to sell out now. I mean, you gotta get the ball back. You gotta stop the run. You're just gonna have to play. You have to play Bill and Leggett just one-on-one, and you got to load the box and sell out, and make sure that you try to get another possession or two on offense.
Second out and long. Guggenheim will throw. And the pass is caught by Leggett. Leggett with 2 touchdowns on the night into Landry Walker territory as he takes quite a beating. But a more manageable third down situation now. It'll be about 3rd down and 6 or so.
And this is where Guggenheim is impressive as a sophomore. He realizes that they are trying to sell out on the run. The cornerback is playing way off of Leggett. He notices it. He changes up the play and just, gets it out there. I mean, Leggett probably has 10 or 12 yards before his cornerback, and just a pitch and catch, and it's a lot of maturity for a sophomore, knowing that you need the clock to continue running and keep grinding in high percentage play and a good throw.
Curry Ben, a Southern Miss commit, made the stop. Guggenheim to the air again, zips one down the field, and it is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. I think that was Michael Ray. Intended for Troy Taylor, who has some deceptive speed, trying to outrun the Landry Walker secondary.
Well, I know this doesn't sound right, but they're better off not having intercepted that football. I know a lot of the crowd was screaming and saying, oh, we almost had the interception, but had he intercepted the ball, Landry Walker would have, if you see this, they would have had the ball about the 2-yard line, 3-yard line. But nevertheless, now they're going to be forced to punt it and get better field position.
On the punt for Curtis is Brock Onestella once again. About a lot of throwing on that series of downs. Onestella, high punt. Takes a long time, and then it takes a Landry Walker bounce. So the Charging Bucks, they're not out of this thing yet. 6:50 left to go. They're down by 15. They could get a quick scoring strike here. They're right there. Want to thank Louisiana Lift once again, as always.
Yeah.
There you go. Sam is dancing.
What's the name of that dance, Sam? I'm wondering what you call that one.
We know what Sam is doing tonight, as he'll go back across the Crescent City connection and maybe stop off at Bourbon Street.
Yeah. Well, I'm staying here, Jeff. I'd be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday to my wife. She's got my season tickets down over at the Superdome watching the Saints play, and we're going to enjoy a little bit of it tonight.
There you go. There you go. Well, Landry Walker, this would be the third straight year if the score doesn't change and they're not able to come back and win it. This would be the third straight year that they have lost to John Curtis. They lost their first 2 games last season and ended up still winning a state championship game because they got Edna Carr coming up next week. And then they face Warren Easton, East Jeff, Grace King. John Ehret will be a terrific game on October 13th. Chalmette was a playoff team from a season ago. So there's a look at that Landry Walker schedule, and a long time, I should say, for them to work the kinks out and make another great run in the playoffs. Handoff up the middle, and nothing doing there for Chad Alexander. We were talking to Coach Powell about winning the state championship and coming back, trying to defend, and he talked more about defending the legacy, wanting to show that the 2016 season was not a fluke. And trust me, it was not a fluke. That was a very talented team that beat West Monroe 50-21 in the 5A state championship game. But again, they had 2 really dynamic players on offense, and it's going to take a while. They got a dynamic player in Chad Alexander and something to build around as he runs off the right end for 15 yards.
And I tell you what, he's getting closer to that 200-yard mark.
Gets him up about around 150 now.
And he may actually eclipse it, but John Curtis is going to be probably okay with him getting 10, 12 yards now because they need a couple scores to get back in it, and we're down at the 6-minute mark.
Torrey Cargo at quarterback. Alexander again. Man, he is just so quick. I think he runs as fast backwards as he runs fast forward.
I think he does everything fast. It doesn't matter. Sideways, backwards, got a little Barry Sanders in him. But I'll tell you what's ironic is in that last drive, I figured John Curtis would have been running the football, not throwing it. In this drive, I figured Walker would be putting the ball up in the air, and they're running it, keeping it on the ground.
Whistles. Timeout Patriots. 5:22 to go in this one. Well, we're at Berman Stadium, and to find out a lot more about this historic venue, let's send it down to Jessica.
Well, Jeff, let me set the scene for our viewers. It's kind of tucked away. You drive in, beautiful oak trees, moss hanging, makes a big circle. I tell you what, it's pretty picturesque. But It's hard to believe that it was actually built back in 1938. It's one of the oldest prep stadiums in the New Orleans area, only second to Tad Gormley. So it kind of serves as a West Bank legend. Now, parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents have played in the stadium, including legends like former LSU quarterback Herb Tyler and current NFL players like Keenan Lewis. Now, Billy Cannon also ran track in this stadium, and it's had a few upgrades since that time, I want to say. New turf back in 2011 and also some digital clocks. But guys, if you think about the legends that have touched this turf, it's pretty interesting.
It is a great place to watch a high school football game. You're right on top of the action here. And it had a lot of history. And I tell you, when you get a quarterfinal game or a semifinal game in this place, a little chill in the air, it's an electric atmosphere. Carr plays here as well. Here's the pass, and there's a completion. Landry Walker getting something going through the passing game all the way up to the 34-yard line. As that was Johnny Anderson, who was a little slow to get up after taking quite a lick at the end of that one. And I don't know if Johnny knows exactly right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's Bobby Morgan, excuse me. The three-tone numerals, they look cool, Jason. They're not very cool to the play-by-play guy.
No, it is hard to catch those numbers. I've probably been guilty of it tonight and want to apologize to anybody's parents that I mixed up the name. I tell you what, you go back to Jessica. One of my favorite players, Jeff, that she mentioned earlier was Herb Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Herb Tyler, but old Perry Walker, and one of the reasons that he was my favorite is he was able to beat Florida. And at that point, we did it with the triple option under Jared DiNardo, and really kind of put LSU football back on the map.
Well, Bobby Morgan's going to probably put the helmet away for the rest of the game after a hit like that. And when you come up walking staggered like that, the training staff here is going to take a long look at him. Ball at the 34-yard line. Cargo, let's see if he can build on that momentum. They go back to Alexander. Alexander squeaks through there somehow, all the way up to the 14-yard line.
Unbelievable.
Cade Como.
Tell you what, this guy
on the tackle.
His engine, I mean, it just doesn't stop for somebody who's not that big. I mean, you talk about being in great shape, running through a lot of contact. The legs are just constantly going. And going forward. And those are some big guys that he's running through.
Throw towards the end zone. Jason grabs it and then had it stripped away. Is that an interception?
Looked like it may have snatched it.
And it is another turnover. That is 5 on the night. And Brandon Davis is credited with the interception.
Well, and that would seal it.
Well, let's see. The officials are going to talk about this for a second.
Yeah, it looked like Devontae Jason had his hands on it
first. There's a flag in the end zone, too. That's what we got going on, too.
Let's see what the flag may be. And Landry Walker's offense is staying on the field. Looks like the Patriots defense is coming back.
Defense, 12 men.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, they had 3 guys on Jason, I'll tell you that.
And if they could put all 12 on, they would have done that. And he still gets his hands up there. Watch, his hands get on the ball, and then as he was going to the ground, that's when Brandon Davis was able to strip it out. Going up and getting it at its highest point, and just a scrum for it there at the bottom.
Alexander hit hard by the Patriot defender, brought right down to the ground very quickly. Terry Price on the stop.
Well, look at the height differential between Cargo and Alexander.
Nearly 200 yards rushing. That was the number we said that needed to happen. And now what do we have? A timeout, Landry Walker, with just over 4 minutes to go. Emmanuel Powell will bring his team over to chat about it.
If you're not in, I need you on.
Well, I know they want to finish strong, and they're going to try to get the ball in the end zone. And look, you're talking about a 2-possession game. If they can get it in there, possibly recover an onside kick. Who knows?
And again, every Thursday night on Yurview, you can watch high school football from around the country. Next week's matchup, the Jenks Trojans taking on the Union Redskins. And the coverage on Yurview, game time on Yurview beginning at 7 o'clock. So after the timeout, Patriots defense returns to the field along with Landry Walker.
Well, and they need to be quick here. You know, it's second down. They got to get the number one. They have to get the ball in the end zone, but you want to try to do it as quickly as possible. Give your offense another shot.
Oh, boy, a flag flies, and what do we got now? Well, you got number 77 in the backfield. Does Curtis have 12 players on the field again?
Substitution factor, 12 people.
No, Landry Walker's the one with 12. Yeah.
Boy, it's been sloppy. I mean, this has been a lot of penalties. No matter the outcome for either team, both of these coaches, I can tell you, are going to go back and emphasize this over the next week of practice.
So now it's second down from the 10-yard line. Alexander bounces off a couple of tacklers to the end zone. Touchdown, Charging Bucks.
Unbelievable. Alexander is just unbelievably strong. Canny ability to break himself free and get to the end zone. But this guy has had one heck of a night. And you can see there just in the middle of the pile and able to get on the outside and dive for the end zone. Just got a nose for the football. And yeah. If we can say one thing is for certain, they figured out the running game part of their offense. And that's Alexander.
Boy, is he so tough to tackle. I mean, he just keeps the legs going. They'll go for two. Play action fake. Cargo, nowhere to go with the football, and he'll go down.
Yeah, that hesitation killed him.
Boy, if they could have converted there, then it would have been a one-possession game. Instead, they still need two more scores with 3:57 left. Let's look again at that Chad Alexander touchdown run. It was a thing of beauty.
Barry Sanders' ass right up there in the middle, and this is where he bounces off and then gets to the outside and then just sticks that nose out, dives for the pylon, and in for 6. What a night for Chad Alexander.
Well, right now, Landry Walker will have to most likely attempt an onside kick. John Curtis has its hands team out there. Brian Henry has it teed up. Instead, they kick it off, and it ends up going out of bounds. So John Curtis has scored 4 touchdowns in this game, and it's been their ground game that has been leading the way for them, as you would expect. The severe offense that they run. Guggenheim, though, this was a big run. I mentioned this a few minutes ago. That was 3rd and long when Guggenheim took off. And then it led to that touchdown throw to Leggett. Hard running here from Washington getting to the outside. More Washington here, looking to deliver the blow before he goes out of bounds, and hard to bring out of bounds. And then Guggenheim running it in.
I'm going to tell you, Landry Walker's also going to have to figure out the special teams piece. After that last score, if you just go out there and kick the extra point, you're still only one possession away.
4 players with over 35 yards rushing for Curtis, and Washington on the carry there. And we knew going into this game, after a gain of 4 for Washington, they had 5 or 6 guys that they can give the ball to, and we have not seen Marquise Albert. He was is the leading returning rusher for John Curtis, but he is out for this game. A young man that has quite a few scholarship offers, but he had wrist surgery, and the doctors wanted him 1 more week of recovery before he goes out there and plays in game action.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. It's a long season, and you know what you got to do to go deep in the playoffs, and one of those things is to stay healthy. Yeah, Albert probably would have loved to play against Landry Walker tonight, one of the top 5A schools, but at the end of the day, they need to make sure he's healthy down the stretch. You mentioned it earlier. These seniors at John Curtis don't have a state championship, and that's what they're working towards.
3:12 left to go. Landry Walker uses a timeout.
But I also tell you, Jeff, I don't ever know how 26 state championships is a drought.
No,
I mean,
no.
You know, there's so many coaches looking for their first.
And it's not like the 2 teams that they've lost to. The 2 teams they've lost to the last 2 years in the semifinals. Last year it was Evangel, who went on to beat Scotlandville in the Division I state championship game. And 2 years before that, they ended up losing to Jesuit, who ended up winning the state championship game. So they've been right there knocking on the door, and this season they're going to be right there once again. I think the 2 teams that they'll be competing against in this division on the select side will be Evangel and Rummel, but I wouldn't count out St. Aug. I wouldn't count out Jesuit. Catholic High, I think, could still be there in the end, so it's a gauntlet, and because there's only 11 or 12 teams that are in the division in that playoff bracket, the trick is that you're gonna end up playing a team in the playoffs that you most likely faced early on in the season, and if you beat that team, as you know, the cliche goes in football, hard to beat a team twice in one season. On 3rd down, only a yard, so that will lead to another timeout for Landry Walker. I would think that's their final timeout.
Well, there's also a flag on the field, so let's see what this is, and will they charge them for the timeout? Maybe they'll get to save that one with the flag on the field. But, you know, we talked to, Coach Curtis earlier this week, and I'll tell you, he's still passionate, but he's not happy with the split in 5A football. Obviously there's a select Division I that he's going to have to go and play in, and then Landry Walker will go their separate way. And, he doesn't like the fact that you crown two champions or 2 state champions at the end of the day in the top level of football.
I guess the penalty is against Curtis, so they'll ask Landry Walker whether or not they want to accept it or decline it and force the 4th down. Looks like they'll decline it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah.
Timeout. Timeout this way.
Well, and here's the deal here. It's they're gonna decline it. It'll be 4th down and punt it, and they're gonna get the ball back. And again, had they been able to just make an extra point,
yes,
then you're talking about going down and essentially tying up the football game.
Right.
But because you missed extra points at the outset, and in fact, I don't think they've converted after a touchdown.
They've had 3 touchdowns and they got 18 points.
And so, it's those special teams things that, in addition to just the fundamental play of snapping the football that they're going to have to clean up.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, Marquise Albert out for this game. Again, they hope to have him next week, but this is what they're missing out of this young man. Nearly 900 yards rushing a season ago. Averaging 7 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns. But you get that senior back out on the field. He had a 34-yard touchdown run last year against Landry Walker. 4th down. Got to watch the fake here, Jason, or Curtis may be going for it. Guggenheim's out on the field. They want to put this game away right here, right now. And it's 4th down and 3.
Or try to draw them off sides.
There's that possibility as well. They send Washington in motion. That might be just a decoy. Yeah, it could be the old trying to draw them off sides.
I think it'd be pretty risky here to go for it. You got a Landry Walker offense that's essentially struggled outside of the running back Alexander. And, you know, you just want to punt this ball and make them have to drive the field.
This will be, if the Patriots hold on to it, win number 562 for JT Curtis.
Get to the 30,
One still on to punt once again. Ball bounces at the 40, and it'll be down at about the 43. All right.
Wow.
2:48 here, not out of the question for Landry Walker.
I tell you what, number 4 needs to get the ball again and get it into the end zone in a hurry. There hasn't been much else clicking for this Charging Buck offense.
Torrey Cargo will lead the offense out there for Landry Walker. You mentioned the missed extra points. I mean, you also add in there 4 turnovers. And a lot of things have gone wrong tonight for Landry Walker, but they still have a little bit of a pulse here. A lot of it because of Chad Alexander, and the defense has played well. There's been a couple times where they got run down by that ground game for the Patriots. Cargo to throw. And it is incomplete.
You're just not going to, I mean, Devontae Jason is drawing. I think there was 4 defensive backs. Well, a linebacker dropped in coverage, but, I mean, there is just nothing. And, you know, Coach Powell spoke about that, and they expected him to be double-teamed and triple-teamed and really thought that he would give some of the other guys an opportunity. And, you know, we've seen some of the other guys get in the action as well.
Looking at Devontae Jason, he's got his arms up just saying, just throw me the ball.
Throw it anyway.
Yeah, I'll make the play. Alexander will get it instead, but he is quickly hit and taken to the ground. Cade Belloso has been impressive. This is relatively a new front 7 for John Curtis, and I think they've been outstanding tonight.
Yeah,
2 returning starters out of the 7.
They really have. I mean, you know, they've been good, but then, you know, when they go back and look at it, they're going to say, but we gave up close to, or maybe by the time the game is over, 200 yards rushing. So they'll want to clean that up a bit.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark. 3rd down and 8 at the 45. Cargo sidearm delivery there, and it is grabbed.
They got to hurry up here. You got to get going, because even if you score, you got to get the ball back again.
That is Corian Harris. First time we've mentioned his name tonight.
Well, and he plays wide receiver. He'll return it. I mean, he's special in the defensive backfield, but, you know, this guy's another one of those looking at Kansas.
At the 41-yard line, Cargo's got to run it. Trying to outrun the Patriots defense down the sideline, stumbles.
I don't know if he got out of bounds. Let's see.
Well, the clock's going to stop anyways because he picked up a first down. And 1:29 left.
They're going to have to get
And they marked him down at the 29-yard line. Well, after tonight, Jason, I'm not Emmanuel Powell. You're not Emmanuel Powell. He's got a championship ring. We don't. But I think Cargo has been the better quarterback out of the 2 between him and Jaquan Dorsey.
No, I think you're right. I agree with that. You know, he's probably showed the most and had the most productivity tonight out of
Throws this one to the end zone, and it's knocked around and incomplete. Jerry Henry with the defense there applied by Como. Also there defensively was Donald Clay. Allows the receivers to catch their breath with the clock stopped with 1:22.
But you're right. I'm not Emmanuel Powell, and I don't want to be in his shoes right now. But I will tell you, I do have a national championship ring, though, Jeff.
Oh, sorry. fire another one incomplete. Well, does your HBCU ring look like this?
It's pretty nice, Jeff. I will tell you, it is pretty nice. And you know, I had to kick a field goal to beat Southern in order to get that ring.
Yeah.
You know, so but these are nice. I mean, congratulations to Landry Walker. They got these last year, and you know, really hoping to get another one. And I'll tell you what, man, I keep mine in the safety deposit box at the bank. I'm not going to lose it.
3rd down and 10. Cargo will step up, and he'll loft one towards the end zone, knocked around, and it's incomplete.
I just didn't get enough on that football. That time, Devontae Jason actually could have made a play, and here's where you gotta get that football back there so that your big guy can make a play. But watch, you can see here, just underthrows it. You know, if he throws that ball a little bit further to the back, Jason makes that play all day.
Oh, nearly did. Last chance here for Landry Walker as they're facing 4th down at the 29. Cargo zips it, caught. That's Harris to the 4. A flag flies. We'll wait and see what that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something on the tackle, the way they threw that flag down there. And the main thing is Landry Walker needs to be getting lined up. It's going to be your ball, 1st and goal to go. You need to be ready to run a play.
I think this is going to be a face mask.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's got to be. He throws that flag right as he's being tackled. Yeah, that's iffy.
It's a glancing blow. But it's only half way to the goal line, half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, so it'll probably be around the 1 yard line, I would imagine.
Yeah, I got the ball spotted at about the 2.
I wonder who's going to get the ball here, Jeff. What's your guess?
I think it's going to be number 4 there. Alexander off the left side. He did not get in.
Yeah, they got to hurry up.
Time is
they got to hurry up.
Coming off the clock.
They've got to hurry up, get up. Look, they're trying to help their tackle off the field. That's big Calvin LeGrone. No time to be down there.
Look for the quarterback sneak here.
Couldn't get the snap.
Oh, boy, they could not get this.
Couldn't fumble the snap again.
No, yeah, and then he tried to look like he tried to spike it, and then he couldn't.
Yeah, there was going to be a clear quarterback sneak there, and you just can't snap the football.
Cargo now has to come off the field because his chin strap is all messed up.
You need to spike it here. I mean, you're going to eventually, I mean, I would just take my last play, but you got to spike the football. It's too many seconds running off.
Dorsey has to hustle on the field, get the offense set up. Here he's going to throw a pop-up to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Knocked away by Brandon Davis. Just under 7 seconds to go.
Well, just a real sloppy series of downs, and you know, not good clock awareness, and you realize that you got to get up to the line of scrimmage, stop the clock, number one, and then dial up a play that you can get into the end zone.
All right, could be the final play of the ball game. Dorsey zips one, incomplete, that's it. Ball game is over. Harris couldn't hang on to it. The Patriots are going to come away with the victory as they knock off the defending champs in 5A, 27-18.
Yeah, tough night for that Walker offense. You can see him coming off the field, just disappointed, frustrated. Offensive-wise, outside of Alexander, the passing game was really just not there, not clicking in rhythm, and that was really their Achilles heel tonight.
And for John Curtis, some outstanding defense. Their power running game took it to Landry Walker at times. Too many penalties for JT Curtis's liking, and would rather see his team execute better, especially coming off of turnovers. They never were able to cash in on any of the 4 turnovers in this game.
No, and he's not going to be happy how he didn't close the ball game. You know, in John Curtis style, they really had opportunities to put the Charging Bucks away, and you know, they kept letting them get back in the ball game, and you know, he's not going to be happy about that. But nevertheless, you're always happy when you get a win, particularly against the number 1 ranked team in the state.
So the John Curtis Patriots begin the 2017 season with a 27-18 victory over the Landry Walker Charging Bucks. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear from head coach JT Curtis. You're watching Game Time on Yurview.
Hey, little man, I'm your new house. Come on in. This is gonna be great. Watch what we can do together. Lights. Ta-da! Locks. Not bad, huh? Oh, and this. I've been saving this for you. You take care of the universe, I'll take care of you.
Cox Home Life, home security and automation.
Game Time on Yurview, Union versus Jenks, live Thursday night. Check local listings on Yurview.com for game times.
You can live the dream life right now at Suma Crossing Apartments in Livingston Parish. Imagine easy access to I-12 and living on a deep, clear lake where your family can fish, walk, or jog anytime. And there's also a crystal clear swimming pool. Your apartment is huge with granite countertops, state-of-the-art appliances, and closets, closets, closets. It's not a dream.
Good evening and welcome to the Louisiana Lottery Show. Here are tonight's winning numbers. Play Winner Winner Chicken Dinner from the lottery. Win up to $4,000. Ask for Winner Winner Chicken Dinner at any lottery retailer. Thank you for tuning in and playing. All drawings are witnessed by a legislative auditor.
Learn.
(27-18) the final score in this Week 1 matchup between two powerhouse schools, John Curtis and Landry Walker. The Patriots win it, and Jessica has the head football coach for the John Curtis Patriots, JT Curtis. Jessica?
Jeff, thanks so much. Coach, we talked earlier this week, and you mentioned that anytime you play Landry Walker, nothing is easy. But you pulled it off tonight. What was working for you?
Well, you know, I thought our offense got cranked a little bit in the second half. That certainly helped us. Defense hung in there against some skilled athletes. I mean, they got some guys that can run fours as quick and as good as anybody we've played in the last couple of years. So they made some good plays. Typical first game against a good opponent. We've got to learn from it and make a big step next week as we go to Shreveport.
That's exactly what I want to talk about. The challenge doesn't stop here. You now play Grayson High School out of Georgia. But how do you keep this momentum going? You've caught some energy.
Well, you know, you got to build from it. You got to get to practice, and you got to learn from your mistakes that you made on your tape, and then get out of practice and make the corrections. And the mental part of the game is as much as the physical part of the game. We made too many mental errors that hurt us offensively in field position. We got to get that cleaned up.
Coach, best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you all.
Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. So that is win number 562 based on what the NFHS has. He will need several more wins to catch John McKissick, who is the all-time winningest coach in high school football at 621. You're big with numbers.
Yeah.
So if you get about 10 wins a season, that's about six more years.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've heard him on the phone. We've talked to him. I mean, I think that's well within his grasp. But, you know, you mentioned it too. He's not the type of guy that looks at these numbers. You know, he even said he wasn't aware of the number until he was being inducted to Hall of Fames and various things like that. And, you know, I think he could go and he could get the record. But like you said, he's gonna keep coaching until he just feels like he's not productive anymore.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the final stats from this one. A victorious night for John Curtis as they defeat Landry Walker, the Charging Bucks, 27-18. More coming up of Game Time on Yurview after this.
Your home telephone is still your most reliable connection to the world. But you don't want to be bothered by unwanted calls from people you don't know or telemarketers. Cox Digital Telephone offers a variety of calls.
Okay, listen up. I know you offer great auto rates, local agents, fast, friendly claims, but do you want to be a legend? You got to get tough, kid. When I'm done with you, nothing's going to keep you down.
Great talk, Brett. Can we get back to your auto quote now?
All right, sure.
Great.
Get great auto rates and local agents at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
How about some water?
No, thanks. I'm good.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on Yurview.
Season. Let's take a look at our stats from this one. And for John Curtis, they made fewer mistakes in this game. I think that's one of the biggest things. Rushing yards, well, that's all Mr. Chad Alexander there for Landry Walker. Yeah. He was sensational tonight. So Landry Walker outgains him, but the 4 turnovers, and then a lot of times when Jaquan Dorsey was going back to pass or Torrey Cargo was going back to pass, they were facing a lot of pressure. I think you give a lot of credit to that Curtis defense. They were swarming tonight.
Yeah, no, they were good in the other big plays. Of course, it's hard to win with 4 turnovers, but it's special teams. If you look up at the scoreboard right now and you realize you gave up a touchdown on a kickoff and you could not convert after a touchdown, as bad as they played offensively, they still had a chance to tie or win this football game if it wasn't for bad special team play.
We'll take a break and then we'll wrap things up from Berman Stadium in New Orleans when we come back. This is Game Time on Yurview.
I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College, and we are so excited to have been awarded Forbes magazine's top 30 two-year technical colleges in America. To achieve this award, ITI was recognized for our high scores in 1, earnings of our graduates, 2, quality of education, and 3, affordability. To learn more, we invite you to visit our campus or go online. ITI Technical College. Begin your journey to a better life.
Game Time on Yurview, Union versus Jenks, live Thursday night. Check local listings on Yurview.com for game times.
Wrapping things up from Berman Stadium in New Orleans as John Curtis defeats Landry Walker 27-18. Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQueer on Game Time on Yurview. Nice night for John Curtis. There's a couple things that I want to hit on before we leave here tonight. I thought Colin Guggenheim, the quarterback for John Curtis, was really good in this game. Did a lot of good. He did more than manage the game. He made some plays to help John Curtis win this contest. And then there were questions about John Curtis's front seven. I thought they played terrific. They got some good play from some sophomore defensive players. This looks like it's been 3 years since John Curtis has won a state championship but that was a championship effort out there tonight against a good team.
Yeah, and if they think it's a drought, I mean, this team could really turn it around. Yeah. And I was equally impressed with Guggenheim. And keep in mind, he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, right.
You know, he managed the game like a senior. That's what you need to do. And remember, they're missing Albert, their key running back. They get him back. I think they got all the pieces to the puzzle. The tight end looks amazing. And so this could be the team. They just got to stay the course. And then, you flip over to the other side of the ball, they really have to clean some things up.
They certainly do, and I think they will. Emmanuel Powell's a terrific coach for the Charging Bucks. He'll figure things out offensively. They got a good place to start. Chad Alexander was phenomenal tonight. A great performance from him as he rushed for nearly 180 yards. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of this outstanding matchup between two great schools in Louisiana, John Curtis and Landry Walker. Want to thank the great crew here. Want to thank Jessica Province down on the sidelines. Want to thank our director, Donald Washington, our producer, Cameron Galloway, the executive producer of Game Time here in Louisiana, Eric Coleman. For Jason DeQuire, I'm Jeff Palermo. Again, your final score from New Orleans, Louisiana. The John Curtis Patriots knock off the Landry Walker Charging Bucks 27-18. We'll talk to you again next week. Have a great night, everyone. This is Game Time on Yurview.
TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi.